because you're going to have more at 7. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes. Okay. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. We're going to start the meeting at this time. Before we start, thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us this evening, whether you are here for any reason you are here tonight. I truly appreciate your attendance and your interest in the business of the school board. I want to thank my colleagues for being here. One of my colleagues is not here this evening. She's not going to be able to join us this evening, Dr. Locke. But I want to thank the three here. And thank you, Dr. Kensur, and your entire team for being here. There are several administrators in the audience. So thank you all, and thank you for all the students and all the children that are in the audience. It's always good to see our students, our children here present and also witnessing what is happening here. I also want to thank again all of you for your interest. Everybody who had anything to do with the preparation for this meeting. I want to express my appreciation for that, including police department and all the different agencies that are present here this evening. So thank you so much for that. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Education, September 24, 2019. And we reconvene into open session at 6:15 p.m. Before we move forward, I just want to explain briefly what is going to happen this evening. We're going to start conducting business as we normally do at 7 o'clock, but we wanted to start earlier this evening. So we're going to go down the agenda and take care of some items on the agenda until 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, we want to open the space for public comments so that you know that at 7 o'clock is when we're going to start taking those yellow forms. We're going to take them in the order they were received. And normally, I'm going to do this later in the agenda, but normally we have allowed time for up to 21 minutes of public comments. When it comes to the 7 o'clock time, I'm going to ask my colleagues to dispense that rule so that we can listen from all the speakers, all the people that will submit a yellow form will have the opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. So that's going to start at 7 o'clock. So there will not be any limit to 21 minutes or any of that. So we are prepared to listen to all the speakers. Again, those who submit the yellow form. So when we come to that time, I will repeat this again for the benefit of those that are not here yet. Okay, so we're going to start with the agenda, and then at 7 o'clock, again, we'll break for the public comments. So the first item on the agenda is a roll call, please.
Ethan De La Rosa, representative from Canyon Springs High School here.
Daryl Peden, present.
Susan Smith, present.
C.J. Johnson, present.
Jesus again present.
Martin Rex Kedzior, present.
Robert Verdi, present.
Susanna Lopez, present.
Maribel Maddox, present.
Thank you. Earlier this evening, the Board of Education convened into closed session to discuss board deliberation regarding student discipline cases, public employee employment appointment, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-reelects, conference with labor negotiator, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, and conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. There's only one item to report out of closed session, and in a motion was made by Mrs. Smith and seconded by Mr. Peden to accept the settlement agreement and release from employee number 194302. And this was approved by the Board of Education on a 4 ayes and 1 absent vote. And that's the only item to be reported out of closed session. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. So we're going to have our student representative from Canyon Springs High School, Eden De La Rosa, student board representative, and he will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and Inspiration. Please.
Can everyone please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And may everyone please stay standing for my inspiration. So my inspiration was a quote from an anonymous source that says, "Remember, there's no such thing as a small act of kindness. Every act creates a ripple with no logical end." And now the reason I chose this as my inspiration is because in a time like this, it's remembered to important that as humans, our goal is to create an impact which is bigger than us. And what better way to do that than to create a ripple effect, making a positive impact in someone else's life that may mean more to them than you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that inspiration. Appreciate it. So next item on the agenda is dates of future board meetings. Next board meeting, October 8, 2019, closed session at 5 p.m., open session at 7 p.m. October 15, open session at 5. That is a study session, and the topic is student achievement. October 29, there's a closed session at 5 and open session at 7. November 5, open session at 5 p.m. Again, it's a study session, and the topic is student discipline. November 12, closed session at 5, open session at 7. All those meetings will be conducted in this room. Next item on the agenda is recognitions, communications, events, and we have a couple of resolutions that we will. I will ask for a vote at this time so that we can hand the resolutions and do other recognitions.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, I skipped the
That's
superintendent. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Either way.
Superintendent update. Well, Dr. Katsura, superintendent update, please.
Mr. Holguin, in the interest of time this evening, I would like to we have one, but I think there's so many things we have to get to. I think that I'm going to ask you if we could just not do this tonight, and then you can move on to the next business. Oh, yeah, I should do that. Thank you, Claudia. So I'm going to do three things. Yeah.
So you're gonna do a short version of the report.
I'm going to do a short version, yeah. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So, can you go right to that? Can they skip right to that? Okay. So, the 11 commitments to excellence on purpose. Commitment number 2 is have good manners, and I want to call up some students from Canyon Springs High School, and is Jose Ramirez, the cross country coach at Canyon Springs High School, here? Okay. Yeah, he's coming in. I see him. So you're going to go up there to the microphone, yeah. And then I'm going to call your students up there with you, and I'm going to ask you to say something. But right now you're just going to listen to me. Coach Ramirez and Miss Kerr, didn't I see her, the principal? Yeah. You can come up here, too. So one of the things that I'm so impressed with was that how at your school with the cross country team that you must have told them that they're all ambassadors of the district. They must make a good impression and be aware of other mindsets when working in our community, because Miss Kerr sent me an email on September 5th, and she said, I received a text this evening telling me of an act of kindness done by my cross-country team. I'll be putting this in my weekly update, but I wanted to share it with you, and I'm so proud of them and the kindness they showed. So I want the students to come up here when I read this on Enrique Valdez and Francisco Nito. Are they here? Oh, there you are. Come over by your principal. And would you join your principal and your cross-country coach, and Stephen Rasmussen and Israel Marquez and Eduardo Villegas? So I think it's really important for you to know that these cross-country students showed incredible kindness and compassion the prior Wednesday. During a practice on this hot, humid afternoon, they encountered an older man who had fallen on Pigeon Pass Road. He was scratched and cut. They stopped to help him running back to school to get water and a first aid kit. And I think that, you young men, we want to thank you for demonstrating the Cougar values of integrity, responsibility, and grit. And thank you, Coach Ramirez, for instilling these values in our student athletes, and Ms. Kerr for recognizing these 11 commitments weekly. So I don't know if you want to, I think it'd be nice if each, you don't all have to speak unless you want to, but would someone tell us what happened that day and why you did what you did? And because the public is... Now, was that... I didn't do something wrong, did I?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were having practice. It was a normal day for us. Then one of these guys had noticed. He said, "Hey man, a guy's falling," and I couldn't believe it. And it was a man falling, and it broke my heart. And the first thing we thought was we had to run to this man as fast as we can. So we did. We rolled him over. When we saw his face, it was bad. I wanted to cry, but we kept calm. We said we had to run back to our school. We had to get the first aid kit that I usually have on me. So we did that, and I don't know who brought him. It was one of these guys that brought it to them, but they made sure that guy was safe after that.
Coach Ramirez, would you like to say something?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, these, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, I usually drive around on my truck to, make sure that all the kids are safe. I was coming to Pigeon Pass and I saw the kids were just running a little bit faster than usual and going down the big dirt hill. I saw by that time the guy was in the bus stop, and the police was there, and so was the ambulance. So I pulled over and I said if everything was okay. There was a couple of the girls that were at the time there now, and they went on and finished their run. Made sure they finished their run. Then I found out what they had done. So really proud of them. It trickles down from, Canyon Springs administration to us, staff, and to our kids, to teach them and let them know how a community should act and that, do the right thing, So that's I'm really proud of them.
Thank you. Are your parents here with you tonight? Are they here? Any of your parents here with you? Aren't you proud of them? We are, I want to tell the parents, thank you for raising such wonderful young men to know when to help and what to do and that they should stop and help others. And, you might think that it's not such a big deal, but it really is a huge deal. And we congratulate you, but also thank you for being the kind of students and the people that you are. And thank you, Ms. Kerr and Coach Ramirez, and thank you, families, for supporting your children in such a proud way and for being here and supporting them tonight. Thank you. Well, you can sit down now, or if you want to come, if you want to do something else, or thank you for being here. Yeah. So I wanted to call up Donna Villanueva. Is she here? Oh, there you are. Okay. Hi. So Donna is an employee in the district, and you work in nutrition services, right?
Yes.
And so on September the 19th, she sent me an email, and one of the things that she displayed was enhance community through action. It takes a village to raise a child. Band together with your parent group, staff, and students to take ownership of the goals of your school community. And she said, Dr. Kitzer, my name is Donna Villanueva, and I'm an employee of MVUSD and a parent. I'd like to throw an idea out there. I would love to see some kind of area at lunch that are called anti-bullying zones, and the kids are at lunch or before the start of the school day, and it'd be a lunch table, a grass area. Anything would help. Have a noon duty watching over the area to protect our children, or ask a parent to volunteer. I'm sure you would have plenty of help for the love of our children. We need to do something. And your children attended Landmark and Valley View High School and Vista to Lago High School. They've graduated. Yes. But you're still interested in the youth in our community, and you provided a very productive suggestion that I sent to all the principals. I mailed your email out. I don't know if I CC'd you on that when I did it. Oh. And but you know, every idea is a great idea, and I share everyone with everyone that I can. And I just appreciated that you took the time to send this to me and to find something that would work with our children. Would you like to say something to the community or?
No, just any ideal, big or small, just throw it out there. It could mean a difference. It could make a difference. And I want to hats off to the anti-bullying club. I think that's a great idea. And to me, being a buddy and not a bully is the coolest thing you can do. So.
Well, thank you for being part of our community and working in nutrition services. Renee and Mrs. Leiter, thank you for being here to support her. And I just want to thank you for reaching out and know that it made a big difference. And we did send that to all the principals to think about and to explore at their own schools. So thank you for the idea.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Katsura. So we'll, for the next meeting, we'll have time for a more complete report from you. So thank you so much. At this time, again, we have recognitions, communications, and we have 2 resolutions that we need to approve or adopt. And I'd like to ask Claudia, is there any speaker that want to speak on items E4B or E4C? On the E4B. So we have 5 speakers that want to speak on item E4B. So before we do the approval of this resolution, is that okay, board members, to allow these 5 speakers because it's in this particular item? Okay.
Yeah, because you did say they want to speak during the agenda items. When you asked for agenda items.
Yeah, we're in E4B right now.
Right, but there's also this opportunity right here when we speak on agenda items.
Okay. So should we postpone these until? Should we postpone? Okay. Okay, we'll leave it for the public comments then. Yes. Okay, we're going to, instead of allowing those speakers, we're going to go through the motions, and then at the public comment time, we're going to allow the speakers to speak on this item. Thank you. So we have 2 resolutions. First resolution is E4B, the Bullying Prevention and Awareness Month, October resolution number 2019-2018. I need a motion in a second to approve resolution number 2019-2018.
So moved. So moved. I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Next resolution is resolution number 2019-2020, Week of the School Administrator, October 13, 2019. I need a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2019-2020.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution number 2019-2020.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. So at this time, we'll go down to hand the resolutions and then do the rest of the recognitions.
Is Dr. Sheffield here? Oh, there she is back there. Would you please come forward? While she's coming, it's already been said by the president, but I'm going to just acknowledge that again. Thank you all for being here. There are an overflow crowd outside. We really appreciate all of that. And as soon as we get done, we're going to hear some of the things that you have to say as well. But again, thank you guys for your interest and thank you for being here. I could, jokingly say that we flipped a coin, but I don't feel like joking right now. But the one that I'm going to be reading is Anti-Bullying Month. Anti-Bullying Month. Okay, I didn't see that. Michelle Gomez. I'm sorry, I didn't see. I'm so sorry. I just.
That's okay.
I'm just sorry. See. You bringing your gang? Cool. Yes, cool. 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 Okay. Yes. Yes. So I'm finding out we invited the students to come too. So I'm glad you guys are coming because back in the old days when you used to buy ice off the truck, you would take the block of ice and you would take a hammer and you'd break it. And that's why you come up with this thing by breaking the ice. So this is breaking my ice right here. So thank you guys so much. Where's Miss Sheffield? You gonna stay back there with them or you gonna come over here? There you are. So, you there too?
Yes,
Well, y'all, you giving me support standing behind me, but that's okay. I can handle this.
I got your back.
You got my back. The Moreno Valley Unified School District Board of Education recognizes that a school that is physically and emotionally safe and secure for all students promote good citizenship, it increases students' attendance and engagement, and supports academic achievement. Educators, community leaders, and parents play a critical role, a very critical role in creating a climate where bullying is not tolerated. The Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District joins the state and the national focus to proclaim and observe October 2019 as Bullying Prevention and Awareness Month. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the Board of Education encourages Moreno Valley Unified School District schools, all schools, parents, all parents, and community to engage in a variety of awareness and prevention activities designed to make our community safer for all children and adolescents. So at this time, I'd like to present this to you, Dr. Sheffield, except you don't want that one. And then you could, that's a lot of stuff. So then you could take this, please, and take my hand, then you take the mic. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So I want to take this time to make sure I acknowledge all of the students here. If we can give them a hand.
And as opposed to us adults talking, I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Gomez, and she will introduce the students to you. These are students from Canyon Springs High School, and they represent the Anti-Bullying Club. Their shirt says, "Be the Change." And so they're a club that's been in action for a while, and they're doing great things. So Ms. Gomez, if you can come on up and talk about our students and the great things that they're doing.
Absolutely. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for attending. This is obviously a cause that's dear to our heart. We've been working for a long time to bring awareness to this cause. The board has been great with supporting us. Dr. Kidziora is an avid supporter. Mr. Holguin has been known to have his birthday celebration during our Flapjack fundraiser event. So I do appreciate that. To that end, this movement could not be possible without these students. Their drive, their determination, their commitment just shows that their positivity and creativity can indeed defeat bullying. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to the students.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, parents and community of Moreno Valley. My name is Guadalupe Gomez, and I serve as the Vice President of Canyon Springs High School's Anti-Bullying Club, which is also known as our ABC Club. Today we have for you a short yet impactful presentation of our club and its purpose. About 9 years ago, a student from our Health Careers Academy came up to Mrs. Gomez, which is a counselor from our school, and proposed an idea of creating or building a club that would help prevent bullying, spread positivity and happiness, and overall raise awareness of bullying and just come together as a school campus to promote all of those things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the school board again for being here and for our members and lovely advisors. As Guadalupe said, members and staff have 3 top priorities we hold close to ourselves: promoting positivity, promoting happiness, and promoting anti-bullying awareness. Us members, we try and create the best, engaging, and fun activities to promote anti-bullying around our campus while putting a positive emphasis on our school culture and daily life. As members of ABC and as staff of ABC, it's very important to us that we make sure that we have a positive atmosphere for the students and staff so they can come into school feeling safe and secure in their campus as well as their own community. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, my name is Emily. I'm the secretary for ABC, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our club. So we meet once a week, every week, during lunch to discuess new ways on how to reach out to our student and faculty. Our meetings, anyone is able to attend to them, and we also make lunchtime activities to try to engage with the students and create unity and awareness. And some of the activities that we do is popping positivity, which is we get a balloon and we make a positive statement inside of it. So when students go and they pop it with a pencil, they open the positive note and they read it and they go on with their day with a smile. And then after they get a treat like candy.
Very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
Nice. Very nice.
Hi, my name is James, and I've been in ABC for the past 3 years, and the effect that I've seen at our school is really dramatic. We do a lot to our school, and what we do each year is we promote bullying awareness, and we have activities with suicide prevention, violence prevention, just all the activities that we do, such as flashing smiles, it's an activity that we do each year. So it starts off in the morning, and as the students come down the hill with their parents dropping them off, we just hold up signs, and when they honk, it's basically just putting a smile on their face, and it's just a good feeling to have, that knowing that someone is there for you. And thank you for everyone who came today.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Adriana Sazueta. This is my 3rd year in ABC. And as members, we train to present presentations on bullying prevention. Our goal is that everybody on our campus knows the definition of bullying, how to prevent bullying, how to report it anonymously to administration, or to our counselors or to MVUSD. Another goal of ours is that all of our students know the term bullying. Bullying is the act of hurting someone or a group of people repeatedly to feel superior. And that's all.
Hi, my name is Joey Beeman. I'm ABC's historian. And as a club, it is our mission to grow and expand so we can reach out to the entire community. And as well as ABC members, we do encourage all students to speak out and report any issues that they see involving bullying or any discrimination. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Sosa, and I am a ABC member. This is my second year. And ABC is all the fundraisers are given back to the Canyon Springs students to promote campaigns designed to prevent bullying and also to bring positive kindness to our club. Thank you.
Our club actually continues to grow. Yesterday, we had our first club meetings during both lunches. And during our first lunch, we had 36 students attend. And during our second lunch, we had 62 students attend. So thank you. That is actually a total of 98 students in our club, but we still expect to continue growing in the near future, as we have done so in the previous years. We also have 245 students following us on our Instagram, where we promote positivity and spread awareness of our activities and just information to allow everyone to be informed. And we also have 143 students signed up to our Remind Bulletin. And that is also where we remind students and just basically anyone who's in that remind of our activities and things that's happening in our campus in regards of our club. And in regards of that, overall, we know that we have a lot going on, that we have a lot for our school and our students this year. And with that amount of students in our club, we are hitting a significant portion of our school population. Thank you.
If you wanted, we do have blue ribbons in the back for those of you that wanted to show your support for anti-bullying, and then we also have a box for suggestions. So if you wanted to share some suggestions, thank you all very much.
Guys can get a little closer so we can get a picture. Thank you.
Like each other. You can move up. Move up some.
Yeah, squat. So come forward and then squat for the whole first row.
Is that far now? Where's Maribel?
In the back.
She's almost over here with me.
She got the little one in the back hiding.
Maribel.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now everybody look over here. Thank you. Okay, so now everybody's got to come around and shake our hands. Start with the gentleman first. Thank you. Congratulations, young lady. Good job. Good speech, too. Congratulations. Good speech. Did you have it written or you memorized? You just said it. Okay. Congratulations, young lady. Congratulations to you, too. Great job. Let's stop the bullying, okay? Let's stop the bullying. Great job. I have one, but I just didn't put it on yet. Congratulations. Thank you all. Congratulations. Way to go, man. Congratulations. Way to go, man. Congratulations. Boy, I know it's hard. Congratulations. That's okay. You did good, man. Congratulations. Congratulations, young lady. Oh, another dude. Hey, man. Just for a short time. You look good, though. Congratulations. Congratulations. Another dude. Congratulations. You got a brain. Congratulations. Why you girls rushing your boys and speak like that? Congratulations. Another dude. Way to go, man. Congratulations. Congratulations, young lady. Well, now, where's your thing?
Oh, it's the same shirt. It's just in black.
Okay. All righty. All righty. All righty.
Thank you, sir. sir.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
I did okay. I hope I did.
All right, I'd like a couple of people to join me up here. Nautica Neal, principal at Creekside Elementary School. Is Nautica here? Sean Robertson, assistant principal at Canyon Springs High School. Mr. Robertson. And Erica Melendrez, assistant principal at Vista Heights Middle School. Please come on up. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. In recognition of the contribution school administrators make to the successful pupil achievement, the Moreno Valley Unified School District Board of Education supports the Week of the School Administrator. The title school administrator is a term used to define many education leadership positions, including superintendents, assistant superintendents, principals, assistant principals, special education and adult education leaders, curriculum and assessment leaders, school business officials, classified educational leaders, and other school district employees. So it's a large group. The Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District joins the state of California in recognizing October 13th to 19th as the Week of the School Administrator. The Board of Education commends all school leaders for the contributions they make to successful student achievement. So thank you not only to these leaders, but to all of you out there who are school administrators. Thank you.
On behalf of all management, we would like to accept this resolution. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the Board of Education so much, and then Dr. Kedziora, Superintendent, and his cabinet for this recognition. Thank you.
There it is. You thought you was asleep.
I know. Thank you, Board of Education and Cabinet members. My name is Erica Melendrez, and I'm the Assistant Administrator of Instructional Improvement and Academic Coaching at Vista Heights Middle School. I'm proud of the work we do every day to support our teachers as we ensure our students are receiving a rigorous and engaging curriculum that will put them on the path to college and career readiness. But I feel that the most important and rewarding part of our job is building relationships with teachers, counselors, students, parents, and community members. Strengthening bonds, building trust and mutual respect, opening lines of communication, these are all critically important ways for everyone in the school community to come together and build a positive school climate, working together to support our students. So we accept this board resolution on behalf of the administrators of Moreno Valley Unified School District and affirm our commitment to live to rise and shine brighter with excellence on purpose.
Good evening. I'm Sean Roberson, the proud assistant principal at Canyon Springs High School. And you've seen some of our 11 commitments in the district on the screen tonight, and I wanted to highlight a couple. The first one is the why. We start with our why, and I think we saw the why tonight with all the students, with the student recognitions a little bit ago. And I know that's my why, is I'm here for the students, and I do this for the students in Moreno Valley. The second one is building community through action. And again, that was very much on display tonight and what our students are doing to build community through action. So I am very honored to accept the resolution tonight and want to thank the the school board and cabinet on the behalf of all management in Moreno Valley Unified. Thank you.
Good evening. It is my honor and privilege tonight to recognize our staff and students for some of their outstanding accomplishments. We're going to start by recognizing the parents, Pedro and Joanne Fregoso, parents of our 5th grader, who also always performs for our district, and his parents do everything they can to make sure to get their son to different events. Mr. and Mrs. Fregoso, would you please come on up? And Pedrito, also please come on up. And if their principal is here, he's a 5th grader in our DLI program. So I see the principal, Dr. Chalfant. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to hear our students sing. He really, truly has an outstanding voice. He sings in both English and Spanish. And his parents, wherever we asked them to take Pedrito, he's always there, whether it's at the county level, at different meetings. And hopefully we probably will hear him sing in the future in a board meeting. These parents are wonderful, and I know Dr. Katsura needs to come to say a few words.
No, I just wanted to say that. I'm just going to tell it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of you were at El Grito at the Moreno Valley College, but I was there, and I want you to know that these wonderful parents, they bring their son to everything to perform, and Mrs. Fregoso just had, is he 8 weeks now? 7 weeks. So she just had a child 7 weeks ago, and she had that new baby there with her, and while he performed that evening with her husband, and I've discovered other children in your family that evening. But what dedication and commitment to have that newborn out there, and I just want to say thank you.
So can we give them a hand to acknowledge that support? We would like now to recognize, and you can see on the screens too what the next recognitions are going to be. We're going to recognize the student essay winners who participated in the Constitution Day and Citizenship Day observed each year on September 17th. So I would first like to acknowledge the teachers from Vista Heights, Joanne Gillespie and Charlene Rose Mackey, if they're here tonight, and also their principal, Mr. Hassan. We had 2 schools that participated at Vista Heights, and I'd like to acknowledge now Edgemont Elementary and call their teachers up, Alma Escobedo Reda and Michelle Montemayor, and their principal, Mr. Vicencio. The title of the essay was What It Means to Be an American, so these students wrote the essay. They were acknowledged. We actually had Mr. Mark Takano, the congressman, come to Vista Heights, also to acknowledge the students, give them certificates. So it was really a big deal. So let's start by acknowledging the Vista Heights students. We have Alan Norberto Choez Williams. Alan, if you're here, congratulations. Come on up and stand. And then we have Jelliana De La Rosa, and if I say your name wrong, you are welcome to say it correctly on the microphone, because that's important. So say your first name for me.
It's Juliana.
Not even close. Jasmine Flores. Jasmine, please come on up. Amaya Boyd Frazier. Denise Gillian. Dylan Tom. Kendall Tracy. Okay, the next student, I am going to ask him to say his name. Ayibotone? Not even close. Triumph Okwahiri. Kind of. Come say your name. We want to make sure that we acknowledge you and say your name correctly.
Ayibothonia.
Say it, please.
Ayibothonia.
And we have Blessing Seal. From Edgemont, we have Deanna Amial. Ashlyn Martinez. And we have Kevin Marcos Varela. We have asked a couple of these students to read their essays for us tonight. So let's go ahead and start with Kevin Marcos Varela. Kevin? He has it. It's coming. Right there so they can. You want me to hold it for you? Right to the audience.
I think that being an American means following laws, having freedom, and having good living conditions. I strongly believe an American is to follow the law. People learn how to drive to get driver's license. They can drive to get jobs, to earn money for their families and themselves. Also go to school with a free education to become a success in life. From my point of view, to be an American means having freedom. For example, we have the freedom to do all the things we want to do. We can choose what jobs we want whatever jobs we want. For interest, we can be artists, police officers, or doctors. From my perspective, Americans have good living conditions. The food in America is wonderful. Americans eat fresh vegetables and fruits. There's so much food and clean water. In other places, there is not clean water. Here in America, we also have electricity and applications that people make, and it is free, yet still make money from it. That's what being an American means to me.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you very much. And now we have Ashlyn Martinez.
What it means to be an American.
Right there.
From my point of view, being an American means several things. Having more freedom, having good jobs, and getting a free education, and having good living conditions. In my point of view, being American means that we get more freedom than other countries. For instance, we can search up in the internet for what we want to see or read. We can protest where we can show that we don't like something. In other countries, you can't protest like that. The government treats us more fairly, more than other countries. In my opinion, we have good job choices in America. For example, we can pick our own jobs. We also have more kinds of jobs, such as veterinarian and being a mayor. I strongly believe in free education. In many other countries, you have to pay for education, but having a free education up to 12th grade, at my school, we get free Chromebooks through 12th grade. Additionally, I observed that we have clean drinking water. Some countries don't have clean drinking water. We have better electricity and comfortable housing. That's what being American means to me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Can we have a hand for all these students that participated? Congratulations to all of you, and thank you, coaches and teachers and principals. We're very, very proud of you. So we're going to shake your hands to congratulate you. Congratulations to all of you. Keep up the good work. Keep writing speeches. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of you guys. Keep writing your speeches. And the teachers. Thank you so much. It's wonderful, Edmond.
Congratulations, young lady. Good job. Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know. I'd like now to call up Jalen Martinez from Canyon Springs High School, and if her principal's here, any other members from Canyon Springs. And I want you to look at that picture. There's a reason she's doing that, Jalen. Jaylene, thank you. If you're her parents, her family, please come on up. So Jaylene won a gold medal in mixed martial arts. She actually participated in an international event and went to Italy. We're going to clap for this. And she won her gold in this international competition. She has been in cheerleading, flag, and volleyball, but really, it says fell in love, but I think you found your passion, your interest, and you work very hard in jiu-jitsu and What's, is it? Muay Thai. And if I knew what that was, I would tell you. Jaylyn, did you want to tell us exactly what those two are real quick? Because this is a gold medal.
Jiu-Jitsu is basically like grappling. It's a lot like wrestling. And then Muay Thai is stand-up, so it has to do with a lot of punching, boxing, but with kicks. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You guys can get together. She's going to take a picture. No, stay in there. I want you in the picture, too. Come on. Maybe in the picture. Dad's over there. I'm ready. You want to come out? Always try to come out to spot. Your sister's out there, too. Whoever you like. This is good. Thank you. Thank you. We got first gold medal. I'm right in front. Definitely. This is huge. Oh, these two are back. Yay. So now you got to get it. Thank you very much. Definitely. Can I get one more? Just you guys, yes, please. That would mean a lot.
I would now like to call up Mrs. Barb Bryan, who is here tonight. I see her. Representing the American Association of University Women, the AAUW. We're going to honor the students that you see. They have participated in a one-week summer camp that encourages especially girls in the STEAM area. So in order for that to happen, we have this fantastic community partner that assists us with a scholarship to make sure that our girls have an opportunity to participate and to keep an interest in the STEM or STEAM area. So I want to acknowledge AAUW for including our district for this great opportunity. I think it's been 4 or 5 years now. So I want to acknowledge that. And then let's meet some of the girls that have participated in this summer camp. And they work very hard and they get exposed to different careers in STEM, different experiences. We're going to start with Sunnymeade Middle. So Mr. Ochoa, if you can join us. The principal of Sunnymeade. So these are 8th grade girls, but they were 7th grade when they participated in this camp. We have Leslie Alcatara Palacios, Matavi Difna, Ruby Perez, Kelly Rivera. And we also have participants from Badger Springs Middle School. I see the principal, Mrs. Ruby Mexico. From Badger Springs, we have Ashley Gallegos. Juritzi Huerta Salcedo. Miranda Lowe. We want to acknowledge these girls' participation in the camp, but also acknowledge that the new learning that they have in the STEAM area. And I hope and I know that they will continue to excel in math and science as they go on to their high schools. So girls, congratulations. Very proud of you that you went to the camp, and hopefully you're sharing some of your knowledge with your friends. And I'm going to have Ms. Ryan say a few words.
It's nice to be here tonight, and I did want to thank Moreno Valley School District, and I have to brag about them. Several years ago when we started, several of us came to Dr. White and said, we have this program we'd like to interest you in. She was in. She asked us to go to Palm Middle School, and we picked 2 girls that year. This year we sent 7 to camp from Moreno Valley. In the last 3 or 4 years prior to that, we sent 6, so we were very pleased. This year, the girls went to UCSD. Some years, they go to Whittier. Moreno Valley sponsorship is what makes this possible. But I also want to thank the parents, because it's really hard, we understand, to let your young daughters go away for a week. And many of these girls have never been away from home or away from their parents for a week. So it's a matter of trust from the parents and us assuring them that they are well taken care of at camp. And the young girls that come back have so much more confidence, and we're so proud of them. And we were so pleased to be able to pick you this year and send you. Now, my sister asked all of you who came to the meet and greet, or to go back and find out if your principal or your teacher that nominated you, if you knew who that was. Did you ask him or her? Do you know who it was that let you go? Well, if you haven't done it, you need to go thank you, because it's the 7th grade math and science teachers that nominate the girls. They have to write an essay about how they would change the world through math and science. That's hard. And then they have to come be interviewed. But we're very, very proud of you, and we thank you for going.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you for going. I hope it was good. Did you enjoy it? Good. Thank you. Thank you for attending. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I want to thank all of you, and those are our recognitions for tonight. Thank you.
I'll go with you. And then I'll call him. Okay, we're going to move on the agenda. Congratulations again to all those who were awarded and recognized this evening. We're going to move on the agenda, and we're going to move, as promised, a little bit late, but on the public comments on agenda items. But before we do that, I have a statement that I'd like to read on behalf of the Board of Education. A tragic incident occurred at Landmark Middle School last week. Our hearts go out to the families of the students involved in the senseless altercation.
At our parent information night last Wednesday at Landmark Middle School, parents and community members repeatedly said they want to be part of a solution to bullying and campus violence. There was consensus that this is a shared responsibility between all of us, the schools, the district, law enforcement, and parents, to keep schools safe. On behalf of my fellow school trustees, please know that we heard you and will continue to encourage and value your input. During times like this, it is important to remember that we all have to work together to ensure student safety. Not everyone felt comfortable speaking up or offering their ideas in that large group setting. To encourage greater, more in-depth participation by all attendees, we are hosting a second parent gathering on Thursday, September 26, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Landmark Middle School. The goals for the Solutions Through Community Collaboration parent meeting will be focused on, number one, clearly understanding the problem of bullying and campus climate, and two, building consensus on pragmatic solutions and strategies for moving forward. We will use a solutions-driven focus group approach that breaks attendees into smaller working groups with a facilitator and note-taker so that all voices have a chance to be heard. The Board of Education and District Administration invite you to attend this important community meeting. By working together, we can implement and reinforce effective ways to stop bullying, harassment, and campus violence. So at this time, I would like to invite, joining us this evening is Pastor Clemens from Discovery Church. Pastor Clemens, would you please join us and lead us into beginning this part of the agenda, please?
Well, first off, I want to thank the board for allowing me the opportunity to be here, and Dr. Kedziora, you also, and to know that we as a church at Discovery are praying for each of you who have big decisions to make in our school district. So I'm going to ask if you are capable to stand as we have a time of prayer, please. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you so much for the opportunities in which you give to us to have life, a life that is so precious to each and every one of us. Lord, our prayer is that we are using our life to bring glory to you, to serve others freely, and to be selfless, not selfish. Lord, I thank you for giving us this opportunity that we can come together as a community, to surround together in hope for a brighter future for all of our students. Lord, we pray over Diego and his family. We pray over the two other young boys and their families also, Lord, and ask for your hand of comfort to be upon them. Of course, we want to see a healing take place in Diego's life, and that is where we will rest, and that is what we will trust. Lord, we do thank you again. I thank you for our school board. I thank you for our superintendent. I thank you for all of our principals, educators, administration, all those involved in our great school district, where we know that if we come to you and we humble ourselves, you will bring healing to our land. It's in your mighty name that we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Okay, next item on the agenda is E5, staff responses to public comments made at previous meetings. Dr. Kedziora.
There are none, Mr. Helkane.
Thank you. Next item, E6, public comments on agenda items. We have 3 slips for agenda items, and I'm going to take them in the order they were received. First, Roy Blecker, followed by Sandra Murphy, and followed by Joanna Leyva. Those are the only 3 speakers on agenda items. And any person requesting to speak to any item on the agenda may do so at this time. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes on any agenda item. Since there are only 3, they will be allowed to speak the 3 minutes. And the time will be shown on the screen at all times. Mr. Blacker, please.
First, a little housekeeping. I'd like to thank the district and La Jolla Elementary School for letting me and Stephanie broadcast Hispanic Heritage Month from Friday. It was a great event, and I encourage people to take out. It's ironic that this anti-bullying came up today. 1 year later, I stood at this very microphone and in front of this very board and told a story about myself and about bullying and about, at one time, I had to stand up and draw that line. It's either going to be you or me. One of the things that really was, again, I think ironic, it's why we find ourselves today, is a mother brought a middle school student up, and he was experiencing bullying. I was standing, as I usually did, at the back of the room, and that mom stopped where I was at, and she made her little boy, she said, "Look at him." He had to stand up too. He was afraid, but he did it. And I looked at that little boy and I said, someday you're going to have to stand up for yourself. Someday, school district, your mom, or somebody won't be there to protect you. I hope as we look forward and we look at that we look at all aspects of this, because your best defense in any situation is yourself and being prepared. You're looking for solutions. I hope we will be inclusive in all of that. Because I've seen a lot of times where maybe we haven't been inclusive in this. Or it's been bypassed, or we haven't looked at things, or there hasn't been that cooperation. Sometimes it takes events to get that. And sometimes it isn't pretty, but sometimes, and hopefully, everybody here will look at it. We can't change what happened in the past. But the only thing we can do is affect the future. And in the future, we want everybody to be safe, prepared, so that everybody has a chance to live a full and high quality life in this city.
Thank you. Next, Sandra Murphy, followed by Joanna Leyva.
Good evening, muy buenas noches. Mi comunicación va a ser en español. ¿Está bien?
So we need a translator.
Yeah.
And just for clarification for all the people in the room, when the speaker speaks Spanish and we use a translator, the speaker has 3 extra minutes. So tiene 3 minutos extras para la traducción.
Oh, okay. Esta noche estamos aquí
Tonight we're here
porque algo muy grave sucedió en la vida de un estudiante.
because something very critical happened in the life of a student.
Esto llega al corazón de todos nosotros, los que tenemos hijos y nietos.
All of us that have kids or grandkids, it touches in our hearts.
Porque es algo que nunca debería de haber pasado.
Because it's something that should never happen.
Hoy debemos de encontrar
Today we have to find
una solución
a solution.
Que en cada escuela
That in each of the schools,
los niños estén seguros,
that each of the students are safe.
de que nuevos reglamentos
When you new regulations
de que protejan a los niños, a todos,
to protect all the students,
no nomás a los que son víctimas,
not only the ones that are victims,
también a los que son los atacantes.
also to protect those that are attacked.
Y eso lo podríamos lograr dando programas tratando de evitar eso.
And we can achieve by establishing programs to avoid those events.
Todos tenemos la oportunidad de hacer un cambio.
We all have the opportunity to make a change.
Si la comunidad se une y trabajamos con ustedes,
If we as a community join together and work with you,
vamos a encontrar la solución de cómo podemos ayudar.
we will find a solution on how to do this better.
Cada niño debe de tener la oportunidad
Each student should have the opportunity
de venir a una escuela sin miedo,
to come to a school without being fearful,
a que sea el momento más agradable y feliz de su vida.
and it should be his most happy and joyful time of his life,
Puesto que es el principio de la personalidad, de la formación y personalidad,
because it's the beginning in the development of a new life.
es tan importante así a lo que el bullying hace en contra de los niños.
It's very important because bullying changes children's lives.
Y como adultos,
As adults,
tenemos que mirar eso
we have to see that
y encontrar un momento en nuestro corazón
and find a moment in our hearts
de esta vez que sea el principio
for this time be a new beginning
en la relación
in the relation
que la comunidad tiene con el board.
that the community has with the school board.
Ya se acabaron los momentos de atacar unos a los otros
Let's stop attacking each other
y hacer lo que debemos de hacer.
and do what we have to do.
Como abuela
As
y
a
como
grandmother
fundadora
and as a founder
de una organización
of an
que va a
organization,
ayudar a los niños, que está ayudando a los niños actualmente.
I'm a founder of an organization that is helping the kids right now.
So, lo que yo estoy hablando y mirando
What I see,
no está en mi imaginación.
what I see and what I'm observing doesn't fit in my imagination.
Es real el peligro.
The danger is real.
Y ya pedíamos cambio, ok. El cambio ya está aquí.
We ask for change, and change is here already.
Eso es lo que la comunidad y cada residente debe de entender. Los niños son nuestro futuro.
We as a community have to understand that our children are the future.
Y si no protegemos nuestro futuro,
If we don't protect our future,
¿qué enseñamos en lo que hemos vivido?
what can
¿Verdad, Fruto?
what can we teach of what things that we have learned on our lives for the future?
So, por favor,
So please,
tómenos en serio esta vez.
take us seriously this time.
Tenemos tantos niños lindos aquí,
We have,
inteligentes.
we have beautiful, intelligent kids with us.
Trabajemos juntos
Let's work together
para poder darles lo mejor que Moreno Valley les pudo dar.
so that we can give the best of Moreno Valley.
So, nuestra ciudad es una ciudad linda,
Our city, it's a beautiful city.
pero el tesoro más grande que tenemos
But the biggest treasure we have,
son los niños.
it's our kids.
Muchas gracias.
Many thanks.
Alguien más viene atrás de mí que va a continuar con lo que les estoy diciendo.
We have all the people that want to speak on this subject.
Thank you. Next speaker, Joanna Leyva.
Good evening. I'm a parent of 4 kids that are attending the school district of Moreno Valley. And at the Lama meeting, you know, I was hearing a whole bunch of stuff, you know, and as a parent, I can tell, you know, my 2 of my kids are suffering of bullying. But instead of accusing, you know, like the school, I try to find solutions. I think we as parents are the ones who teach our kids values, responsibility, respect, how to defend themselves without, you know, like fighting or hitting each other, you know. And in my opinion, we cannot be blaming them for the job that we're supposed to be doing at home. You know, we need to find solutions. We need to stop arguing and pointing fingers at each other. We need to see how we can, you know, change the kids' life, how to help those kids that are, you know, like acting this way. I try to find, you know, ways to help my kids. And by being engaged in all the activities in the school, in my different schools that I have like 3 schools right now that I'm, you know, participating in volunteering, you know, and I see like, for example, like the school district has a lot of workshops. I didn't know that about it, you know, and but then I start finding out, you know, like living a healthier life, how to, you know, help us with anxiety, anger, fears, physiology. They have yoga meditation classes for kids and parents. And you know, if parents want to go by themselves, they can go to. They have it for parents too. You know, I see that they have the parent project at Moreno Valley High School, and they have it in 2 other schools. So we need to engage more. We need to find out, you know, ways that we can help our kids, ways that we can help, you know, easier our job and easier their job. Because just think about it. I put myself in their position. You know, I have 4 kids, and it's hard to control them. It's hard to help them, you know, achieve what we want them to achieve. So imagine, how many kids do they have for each school? How many kids do each teacher has? And we want them to find all the solutions? No, we need to help them out. We need to come together. We need to see what's going on right now and help each other, not fight each other. You know, so please, we need to cooperate with everybody, you know, start arguing and fighting and giving that, because I feel so bad, you know, for kids that were present in the landmark meeting, and see how we adults behave. We're talking about bullying, and we're being, you know, bullying each other. So what's that? We teach by example. So be a good example. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we move on to public comments on non-agenda items. The Board of Education encourages public comments. During this section, staff may briefly respond to statements or questions, or may ask questions for clarification. The board may refer to staff or other resources for factual information, direct staff to report back at the subsequent meeting, and or direct staff to place the topic on a future agenda. If someone wants to lodge a complaint against an employee, the appropriate form may be obtained at any school or the community education center. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for a total of 3 minutes on non-agenda items, regardless of the number of issues to be addressed by the individual. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on non-agenda items to 21 minutes. So colleagues, this is what the Board Bylaw 9323 says, 21 minutes. I'm going to ask for a motion in a second to suspend this rule for this evening only.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend those rules for tonight.
In a second,
one
please.
time.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. That means that we don't have the 21-minute rule, and everyone who submitted a yellow form or a green form will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. And I would encourage, we have 24 sleeps, so it's going to take over an hour. So again, everybody will be allowed 3 minutes, but it doesn't mean that you have to use the 3 minutes. If you want to shorten your comments, will be helpful. You don't have to. Again, you're allowed 3 minutes. It's just encouragement for that. And just a reminder, we have students in the audience, we have students watching at home, and we have students who may watch the recorded version of this meeting. Just keep that in mind, please. So with that, we're going to move on to the public comments on non-agenda items. And we're going to start with Alicia Espinosa, followed by Carla, Palomo? Carla Palomo. I apologize if I'm not saying it right, but Ms. Espinosa, and the time is on the screen.
Good evening, school board members and staff. On Monday, September 16, 2019, a tragedy occurred that could have prevented. A student was brutally assaulted and currently is in the hospital fighting for his life. How many other students have been physically assaulted and have been ignored by school districts, especially our school board members, our highest leaders in the education system? There's one particular school board member that's been on the board for 20 years. He's been able to attend capacitation and intervention workshops paid by the taxpayers, attended the Bully Capacitation Conference held by Keenan and Associates Risk Management, and yet they failed Diego. We ask that the board please implement and enforce your own policies. They're very, very clear. Physical assault should not be occurring on school campus. A parent should not have to be worried whether her son or daughter will be back home. So please take this very seriously. Please stop going to your little conventions and doing your free chicken dinners. Start placing more emphasis on the position that you guys asked for our vote, to be a school board member and to direct your staff. It's really not up to Dr. Kidziora or Daryl Scott or Moreno Valley PD to come for solution. It's really not up to the community. You guys get these capacitation courses. You guys go to these courses and we pay for you guys to go. We're just average citizens that all we ask that you guys take seriously the complaints when the parents address these issues. If you guys would take these very concerns and address them, you guys would have not had a Diego situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Carla Palomo. I'm sorry, I apologize. Followed by Jorge Quintero. I apologize for not.
Oh no, it's Carla Palumbo. You're fine.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here, obviously, I have 4 girls. 3 of them are in the Moreno Valley District. And my biggest concern, I have a 14-year-old. She's just been getting bullied for quite some time, from elementary now to middle school. I've addressed these issues with principals, staffs, also districts, to the point where I'm getting ignored. Now, we have a situation, a Diego situation, which, again, it should have been prevented. I've been in contact with a lot of parents. They have concerns. My concerns are, what are the policies, the rules that you guys are going to push, the new rules, and are you guys going to stick with it? We need a stronger policy, stronger rules. And I would like to know if, as parents, are going to know that. Kids are getting bullied by their clothes that they wear. Maybe we should just change that. Have the school change maybe uniforms. Bullies, parents, like I said, it's true. They say that comes from the house. Parents are bullying their own kids, and that's why they bring it back to school. And I know we can't always pressure you guys to make a change. But I know if there's a concern, you guys have to address it as well. And my thing is, what are those policies going to be to make our kids safe? because I want to make sure I send my kid or any parent sends their kid and they'll be able to come back home. What are you guys going to do for us, as parents? We just had another incident, and Mr. William was not here, but he knows I'm going to be speaking about his situation. His kid got bullied at Sunnymeade Middle School. She went looking for help with the principal prior to Mr. Ochoa. This principal just kicked her out. And this kid got bullied, beaten by 4 to 5 different kids. And like I said, she went and asked for help. And what did she got? She got turned away. This is something you guys should be hiring, maybe staffs that would care enough for our kids, or just something has to change. This is not, we're risking the lives of our kids. More kids are committing suicide. More kids are in depression because they don't feel that they have a voice. And as parents, I know me as a parent, I'm gonna back up any kid that's going through this, as well as my kids. So a change, and a legitimate change, has to be done. And soon, before more kids are going to be like Diego in ICU, or more suicide, or kids cutting themselves.
Thank you. Jorge Quintero, followed by Marcela Quintero.
Buenas noches, miembros del board.
Good evening, members of the board.
Señor Quisiora.
Mr. Quisiora.
Maestros, directores y padres.
Teachers, parents.
Bullying es un cáncer.
Bullying is a cancer.
Que estamos padeciendo en este distrito. No solamente en esto, hay muchos distritos que también lo están padeciendo.
Bullying is a cancer that is in the district and other districts.
Pero el interés nuestro es el de este distrito.
But our interest is this district.
En este foro se ha hablado muchas veces, años.
We have talked about this for many years.
Hemos advertido del bullying.
We have warned about bullying.
Le hemos dicho a los miembros del board.
We have told the board members.
Pero parece que les entra por este oído y les sale por el otro.
But it appears it goes from one ear, it comes out the other ear.
Pobre Diego.
Sorry for Diego.
Pobre familia.
Sorry for the family
amigos.
And friends.
Nosotros no quisiéramos estar en esa situación.
We wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Pero ¿cuántos más Diegos van a pasar?
How many more Diegos need to happen?
Para que los miembros del board,
as you as members of the board,
cambien las pólizas.
Change the policies.
Tenemos que tener cero tolerancia en el bullying.
We have to have zero tolerance for bullying.
Pues claro, no queremos mandar a los hijos a la casa o expulsarlos porque el distrito pierde dinero.
We don't want to suspend kids just because the district loses money.
Ese es el meollo del asunto.
And that's the bottom of the bottom.
Y seguirán habiendo más Diegos mientras ustedes no toman las cosas en serio como debe ser.
There will be more Diegos as long as you don't take this seriously.
Yo en lo personal he padecido el bullying en mis hijos en el distrito escolar.
Me personally have experienced bullying through my kids in this district.
Lamentablemente nosotros los latinos decimos nada más de palabra y nunca hacemos nada por escrito.
We as Latinos, we talk, but we never do anything in writing.
Por eso no se le da un seguimiento como debe ser.
So there's no follow-up.
Desgraciadamente confiamos en ustedes y la verdad no.
Unfortunately, we trust in you.
Sé que hay muy buen personal aquí también en el distrito escolar, no todo es malo.
There is good personnel in this district. Not everybody is bad.
Pero sí hay un cáncer que tenemos que sacar de aquí.
But we have to deal with this cancer.
Usted, señor Holguín, lamentablemente tiene más de 20 años aquí representándonos y no ha hecho nada por nuestra comunidad.
You, Mr. Holguín, has been in this position for over 20 years, and you have done nothing for the community.
Sé que tiene mucha gente aplaudidora.
You have a lot of people that clap.
Pero también la mayoría de la gente está en contra de usted.
But there's also people that are against you.
Sépalo.
Be aware.
Si usted tuviera un poquito de dignidad y vergüenza,
if you had some dignity and shame,
renunciaría.
You would renounce.
Pero no la conoce.
But you don't know that.
Y tenemos que estar siguiendo soportándolo a usted.
And we have to support you. We have to deal with you.
Por desgracia.
Unfortunately.
Deberían ahorita de juntarse, ahorita terminando la junta, y hacer una póliza de cero tolerancia.
There should be a meeting after this meeting to make new policies.
Porque vamos a seguir hablando y hablando y hablando. Nosotros hemos hablado muy bonito y nada ha pasado.
We continue to talk. We have spoke in a nice way, and nothing has changed.
Somos amigos de algunos directores, de mucho personal de aquí, secretarias.
We are friends and have connections with people in the district, secretaries, principals.
Pero sé que otros no nos quieren porque no les gusta que le digan la verdad lo que está pasando.
But a lot of people don't like us when we tell the truth.
Pero si no escuchan al pueblo, a la comunidad,
But if you don't listen to the community,
ustedes lo van a padecer.
you will see the consequences.
Es tiempo de hacer un cambio.
It is time to make a change.
Pero si usted no tiene la voluntad de hacerlo,
But if you don't have the will,
va a seguir habiendo muchos Diegos.
there will be more Diegos.
Entonces, tenemos que acabar con el cáncer del bullying.
Let's stop the cancer bullying.
Yo propuse una vez aquí al superintendente o a ustedes también, los miembros del board.
Once I made a proposal to the board.
No venimos a criticar nuevamente, también proponemos.
We don't criticize only. We also make propositions.
Que se formara un departamento especial del bullying.
That there should be a department to deal with bullying.
Pero que trabajara en verdad. No que fuera una cosa burocrática.
A department that will work, not just a bureaucracy.
Que se tuviera literatura para que se informaran en todos los salones, en todas las escuelas, porque no todos los buleadores son malos, sí los se pueden regenerar.
So there should be information about bullying that can be distributed to all the students. Not all the people that bully some of the people that are bullies can be changed.
Si hubiera, hay que expulsarlos, pero también tenemos una escuela donde se les dé pláticas a esos alumnos y los aíslen de la comunidad en general y que trabajen.
There's some that do need to be expulsed, but others need to be re-educated.
Espero que lo tomen en serio.
But let's take this seriously.
Gracias y buenas noches.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you for your comments. Marcela Quintero, followed by Isabel Padilla.
Buenas noches, miembros del board y padres, familias.
Good night, board members and parents and families, students.
Estoy aquí porque necesito ser escuchada por ustedes.
I'm here because I need to be listened by you.
Pero que sea en serio, por favor.
But seriously, please.
Necesitamos que empiecen a trabajar en pólizas nuevas para el bullying.
We need new policies for bullying.
Y cero tolerancia.
And zero tolerance.
Para que no vuelva a suceder lo que pasó con el niño Diego.
So there should be no more incidents like as it happens to Diego.
Necesitamos gente que tenga amor por su trabajo.
We need people that love their job.
Y que no venga a cobrar un cheque.
And not just here for the check.
O sea, de los recomendados.
Or so there some people that are recommended.
Yo sé que tenemos personal muy capaz.
We know that we have a very competent personnel.
Aquí en este distrito.
In this district.
Y que tiene amor por su trabajo.
And they love their job.
Pero desgraciadamente.
But unfortunately.
Hay personas que no lo tienen ese amor.
But there's people that do not have the passion for their job.
Y cuando uno les hace ver en qué está mal o les da su opinión.
So, and when they are confronted with the truth or a different opinion.
Dicen que lo estamos agrediendo o que les tenemos mala fe.
They feel that they're being targeted and that we have bad faith towards them.
Pero en realidad nosotros queremos que haya soluciones.
But the only thing we want is solutions.
Porque lo que nos interesan son nuestros hijos.
Because what matters to us is just
Yo
our
como
kids.
Madre,
me as a mother.
Y sé que muchas madres y padres.
And I know that all the parents and mothers and parents.
Quieren la seguridad de sus hijos.
They want their sons to be secure.
Así que necesitamos que empiecen a trabajar, por favor.
So we need for you guys to start working, please.
Y no nos digan que venimos a atacarlos, que siempre vienen los mismos.
And, and don't tell us that it's always us and they're here to criticize you.
Porque en realidad, yo sé que ustedes se toman su tiempo para estar aquí,
I know that you take the time to be here
porque ustedes aceptaron ese puesto.
because you took the responsibility of your position.
Entonces, si aceptamos ese puesto, hay que responder.
So if you took the responsibility, let's do something about
Trabajando
it. Let's work.
con la comunidad,
Let's work with the community,
con las escuelas,
with the schools,
con todo el distrito escolar,
with all the school district,
sin quejarse de que, vienen a atacarme.
without complaining they were here to attack you.
También quisiera pedir
I also want to ask you
unos aparatos para la traducción
a better equipment for translation
nuevos, porque esos no se escucha realmente.
because they're not working. It's hard to hear.
Yo sé que es mi obligación hablar inglés porque estoy en este país,
I know that it's my obligation to speak English because I'm in this
pero
country.
desgraciadamente mi inglés no es muy fluido y cuando vengo a las juntas a
But
veces no entiendo.
But unfortunately, my English is not proficient, and when I'm here at the meetings,
Quisiera que tomaran eso en cuenta
I want you to take that into consideration too.
y que hace un momento pasó una persona diciendo que hay muchos programas para los padres. Es cierto,
A while ago, somebody came forward and said that there's a lot of programs for the parents,
pero desgraciadamente esos programas ya están muy obsoletos
and it is true. There's a lot of problems, but they're already obsolete.
y la gente a veces no quiere venir
And sometimes, a lot of the times, people don't want to come
porque no tienen resultados.
because there's no results.
Tienen que buscar programas que atraigan a los padres,
Find programs that are attracted to the parents.
traer expositores capaces,
To have competent speakers,
profesionales,
professionals,
no conocidos como suelen hacerlo,
professionals not of your surroundings,
y respetar las quejas
and also to listen to the complaints
de los padres,
from the parents,
porque es el derecho de los padres
because as parents we have the right to complain
expresar su descontento,
and to explain our unhappiness,
y la obligación de ustedes
and your responsibility
es dar una solución
is to give us a solution
de acuerdo a los reglamentos
according to the regulations
que están aquí en el distrito.
that are implemented in the district.
También quisiera que gastaran menos dinero
I also want you to spend less money
en excursiones y capacitación
and expulsions and rehabilitation
para los miembros del board
for the members of the board
o cualquier convivio que hagan,
or any social activity that you do
porque gastan bastante dinero.
because you do spend a lot of money.
Con una botellita de agua yo pienso que todos salimos contentos.
Just a bottle of water and will be more than enough.
Agradezco que estemos aquí
Thank you for being here.
y espero una resolución lo más pronto posible para que no vuelva a suceder lo que pasó con Diego. Muchas gracias y buenas noches.
And let's have a resolution so that there will be no more Diegos. Good night.
Next speaker will be Inez Navarro. Inez Navarro, followed by Amalia Jones. Oh, they're not going to speak. So these two are not speaking. Okay. Okay. After Inez Navarro would be Roy Blecker.
Hi, my name is Inez Navarro. I have students in your school district. I'm here to make a suggestion. Unfortunately, my kids were not in a bullying situation. They went to the schools of Vista Heights, Canyon Springs, Hidden Springs, which they never had to experience any of this. Still up to this day, I've never had any incidents, anything bad to say about any of those schools. But last year, they went to Valley View. They defended a bully, and they thought they did the right thing, and then they were bullied. They went through such heartache that they had to stop going to school, fell behind on their grades. My daughter's moved out of this district now, going to Riverside. My son he decided to go to Movea, went through a depression, and my kids are really good kids, been a police explorer since they were 14. And to go through this all for defending a bully, I think you guys need to change your policies and not only I understand that this bullying starts at home. And some of these kids, just the suspension isn't good enough. You bring in Miss Arce, Miss Rucker. They don't do anything. They just talk to these kids. Some of these kids need some deep counseling. And I think it'd be best when, in my opinion, if these kids have any altercation in bullying or any situation, they should be home studied until they seek counseling and are able to go back to school and be trusted to be around other kids. Because it's not the other kids' faults. And some of these other kids that are getting bullied need some counseling also, because they fall into depression, and that's where the suicide comes in. So I'm just here to say a suggestion, and I feel for Diego's parents and other parents that kids are being bullied. My heart goes out to them, but unfortunately, my kids went to school at the other schools where we didn't experience this. But there are, last year, as they experienced in Valley View, there was a lot. They were experiencing bullying by staff. Like I said, my daughter is in Riverside School District now. My son just finished, thanks to Dr. Kitsiora. And she's much happier. She doesn't deal with this. The school district is harder. She's got to get up earlier, but it's worth it. It's a big difference, but they don't tolerate the bullying. So please take my suggestion into consideration and get some help for these kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Roy Blecker, followed by Leo Gonzalez.
I noticed the anti-bullying suggestion box at the back of the room. My suggestion is you work for solutions on this and you listen when they're presented to you. At the landmark meeting, the staff pointed out the socioeconomic conditions that contribute to why people are here today. The cop, number one, said, take the cell phones away. Cop number two said, look at your public officials and what they're doing, and they're taking discipline out of the class. That's coming from the state. A lot of the things, some of the things you can solve. Some of the things is a responsibility of everyone in here. How many of you voted for the governor and the legislature that is handcuffing our personnel from doing the job? Let's look honestly at this stuff, because solutions won't come unless we do. I point this out, and Sandra Murphy pointed it out at that meeting. She said, many have come up here and said, pay attention to what's going on. Sometimes we think it falls on deaf ears. I say this because somebody I know very well has come up here for years and in many other venues and said these exact same things. Yet we find us here today with the situation that we have. I believe it could have been prevented had we all opened our minds and opened our hearts and looked at it and put the solutions in place when they were presented to you, heeded the warning signs when they were voted for you. That's a responsibility of the 5 that are sitting up there. You are our representatives. You are our buffer between this, the school district, and ultimately it is your responsibility. And that's what we've entrusted you for. You need to take it seriously. You need to set the policy that's going to prevent these things from happening. And you have to have an open mind each and every day and an open heart when that comes up here, that you're paying attention and you put it into place.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Leo Gonzalez, followed by Ariana de la Ruiz.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Peden, congratulations on your seat. Haven't been here. Finally found a place that you could relate to everyone up there, huh? So I'll be brief. Their opening statements, the words, I think the time for statements and words are done. I think it's time to start demanding action and demanding answers. I was there at the parent-teacher conference at Landmark Middle School, and I saw the school board cowered in the back of the room while the principal took all the heat from all the parents. Thank you. I mean, that just goes to show, I mean, if there's a representation of why there's bullying in schools, it's because nobody up there has a backbone to actually do something about it. I mean, if you start threatening teachers for their jobs and saying, hey, you know what, here's your pink slip, that everything rises and falls on leadership. That's you guys. And if you have leaders threatening to strangle parents on the dais, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Susan Smith threatened to strangle the parents, and you already denied it once. Let's not do it again, or I'll play the video for everyone. Or you can just go on Moreno Valley Students Matter, and you can watch the video there, which, by the way, it's up 4,000 views since this incident happened. People are starting to know that there is no leadership at MVUSD. So, a couple of residents and we're going to be distributing this petition. I invite everybody to sign it, demanding answers as to how effective your anti-bully procedures really are. We're going to be distributing this all throughout the city, so I encourage everybody that if you see this petition right here, you sign it so we can start demanding answers and actual leadership, and maybe you guys can start having a backbone that people can see from the front, so maybe we might end this bullying issue once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Ariana de la Ruiz. Not here. Next speaker, Zach Navarro, followed by Bob Palmares.
Good evening, Dr. K. Good evening, School District Board. I just want to start off by saying my heart goes out to the family of the child that was in this incident, but my main focus tonight is not only that child, but the past and what's happened in the past. I know people say forget about the past and move on, but the past affects the present and the future. My sister and myself both went through bullying in several schools, including Valley View High School. I didn't suffer as much as she did, but this poor girl had to get moved out of the district to Riverside, so now she has to wake up almost an hour and a half earlier just to beat traffic, just to go to a school in a different city because she's too afraid to go to a school 2 minutes away from our house. This girl went through so much, and I feel no matter, not just her specifically, but there are so many students that we don't know about that deal with these crises and deal with these emotions, and I feel like it needs to be touched more on. I respect the district and I respect the board members and all of the officials and admin, but Ms. Rucker and Ms. Arce, they both are very educated and very good at their jobs, but I feel that just because you're a higher up and you're educated doesn't mean you understand the issues and difficulties that these students go through. Just because you have a degree in the topic doesn't mean you understand. My sister didn't get the proper resolution that was needed because she didn't meet the classifications of being bullied. They told her in front of myself and my mother that because her bully didn't meet what was considered bullying to them, that nothing could be done because there was nothing they could do because they didn't consider it bullying. I feel that's wrong and no one should have to go through that. A kid should not have to be afraid to speak up because they know that that's not what the school district sees as bullying. The school district and myself and others don't know what every kid goes through. I feel there should be some type of counseling, like my mother said, some type of counseling out there that could be free of charge to students who feel the need to talk to, just an open ear. I know there's hotlines, but I feel like that's too exclusive for students. I feel there should be something at each and every school that each student can reach out to and each student can go to without feeling afraid of speaking up for themselves and for others. There should be no fear of going to school and worrying about other kids. Students shouldn't have to wake up an hour and a half earlier just to go to a different city, just to get an education. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish any bullying, I don't wish any hatred on anybody. I feel students should see a change, and so should parents, and so should active members of this community. Every student should be able to go to school safe. We shouldn't worry about the past, because the victims are in the past, and you can't change that. But what you can change is the future and what's going to happen next. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Bob Palmares, followed by Rosalina Isaias. Thank you.
Good evening, school board. You know what I find hard to understand? What was so hard about when this kid was being bullied and he reported it, for the school district to get the parents of both the assailant and the victim together and end it? You know, Mr. Holguin, all your workshops and all that, it rings hollow to me. I came here in 2017 when a young girl from the Yucaipa-Calamasa School District hung herself because she was being bullied for over a year. And back then, the school board here in Moreno Valley said we have an anti-bullying program. Well, obviously it failed. It failed Diego. And you know, that's your policy. The parents, of course, they teach their kids at home not to engage and, you know, but sometimes they got to defend themselves. But we drop our kids off or our grandkids off at schools, and it's your responsibility. You know, and either you don't know what's going on or you don't give a damn. That's my opinion. You know, there was two of your spokesperson stating that these two students that did the assault were very good students, honor students, and they probably are, and that there were no warning signs. Well, didn't Diego file a complaint that he was being bullied? Well, I mean, what kind of warning sign do you want? You know, it has to end. I mean, you're all adults here. I wonder, have any of you gone to see that young man laying, you know, close to his death? You know, I pray to God that, you know, he's going to pull out. I know he is. I believe so. But you should go look at him. Maybe you'll come around with, you know, a different feeling, because the ball's in your court. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Rosalina Isaias. Sorry. Followed by Angel DeJazer. Go ahead.
I'll begin when the papers are passed out. Thank you. Hello, my name's Rosalina Isaias. I'm a parent of a young girl in Sunnymeade Elementary School. I'm very active. I volunteer. I'm on president of the Booster Club and also parent representative for our school site council. I have some proposals to present to you guys today. So for campus safety, I feel that monitoring systems such as cameras should be located heavily throughout every campus with a main monitoring office on school sites. A head of campus security watching and using audio to inform campus security administrators, all other staff on suspicious activity and or emergencies. All recordings should be saved for at least a year on servers to help support in any investigation. I feel that these are important because just like with retail, we have an LP service and they are watching any suspicious activity. Kids are very easily predictable when it comes to fights. I don't know if you guys have walked campuses, but before every fight, there is a verbal confrontation. If we have somebody watching monitors, not only will we get there before, hopefully, the fight begins, but also have not only the two people engaged, but also all the people that are surrounding for their statements. The second thing I propose is for anti-bullying and team building. Team building integrated within all TK through 12th grade curriculum. We need to teach these kids how to work together. Second is team building projects for students in conflict with a certificate of completion and recognition. Parents should also be participants in this project. This way, kids are not going us versus them, but us working together. Anti-bullying writing competition for students for 6th to 12th grade. The district will present an award for winners, possibly a small scholarship for overall winning student. Incentive, schools should have a month or a semester or a full year of no violence on campus. They should receive a recognition and prize. Example, food trucks, bring free lunch, plaques, recognition from city. Software, survey software installed in all Chromebooks. Software should be presented as the first thing a student completes upon utilizing Chromebooks. The last question should be a comment or concern with an option to be sent directly to an administrator. It can be anonymous or not. These are you guys asked for ideas, here are my ideas. I'm gonna post these throughout all websites within our community. And I feel that accountability is on all of us as adults. So in order to make these things better, I believe and request to all you parents, whenever you have anything to say to the administrator, have it in writing. You need paper trail. Everybody needs a paper trail. And it needs to be stayed in a recording. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Angel DeChazer, followed by Zafira Gary. Angel. Okay, how about Zafira Gary? Harold Awkward. Followed by Morgan Doss.
Muy buenas noches, me llamo Harold Acord y soy profesor aquí en Moreno Valley desde hace casi 33 años. Good evening, my name is Harold Acord and I am a teacher in this district for almost 33 years. I am proud to be the president of the Moreno Valley Educators Association, and I'm proud to have at my side the vice president of the Moreno Valley Educators Association, Connie Pruitt. Like many of us, she lives in this district. Her children went to these schools, and we are part of this community, and we want to be with and part of and be any way that we can to help things be better. Diego no es ninguna situación. Diego es un ser humano. Diego isn't a situation. Diego is a human being. Every one of us became teachers because we love our students and we want them to be okay and we want them to be safe. We will do whatever we need to do to work with the community, to be of and part of the community, to make sure that we are keeping our students as safe as they can be. We will work with this district. We will work with anybody who wants to work with us to make sure our children are safe. There are a lot of our members. Please stand up if you're a member of MVEA and a teacher here, an educator here. We are here to be with this community. We love this community. We love our students. Nobody became an educator for any other reason. When there are no longer cameras from TV stations, when there are things that are not so easily seen, we will be there, and we will be there with you and you and you and you. We will help our community. We will help our communities be community schools to where we can face together anything, any challenge that we have. We will listen to our community. We will love our community. We are in our community. We are part of our community. We teach here. We love our kids. and we will be part of making it better. We pray for Diego and every other child that was involved. We pray for our members who worked on Diego for a long time before help got there, and our classified brothers and sisters and our administrative brothers and sisters, and for the board to make good decisions. We are with you, and we are never going to leave. We've been here the longest, since 1957. The teachers will always be in this community, and we'll be here to help you. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Morgan Doss, followed by Cristina Horta.
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan Doss. I'm here from Vista Heights Middle School. Bullying is not okay. I've been bullied my whole life. My mom.
Take your time.
I've been bullied my whole life. People calling me fat, ugly, talk about my hair, my skin, everything. But my mom been by my side. But Mr. Hassan, my principal, I can come to him and talk to him. I think him and a teacher is the only person I believe in to come to talk to. As a board member, I want you guys to enforce the bullying policy because it's not okay. My friend been cutting herself since elementary. It's not okay. Kids are dying. Diego's in the hospital right now fighting for his life. His parents is hoping, praying for him to wake up. God, please let him wake up. Because kids do not need to go through this. You guys need to help us. I want you guys to listen. I want you to look at me. Listen to me. I'm a child. I'm 13 years old. And I'm telling you, we need help. We are crying out to you guys to help us to stop the bullying. I don't care if people are just being rude or being mean. To us, it hurt us. I'm telling you right now, it hurt us. We're trying to cry out to you guys. I just want you guys to listen to me, to understand me. I want you guys to walk in my shoes for a day, to shadow me, to see how hard it is to get bullied, to get picked on. And the teachers is not doing anything. They hear, they see, they don't do anything. You as a district, as a board members, you guys need to do something about it. It's not okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Next speaker is Cristina Horta, followed by Leo Carrillo.
Good evening, Board President Holguin, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Kitziora, and Cabinet. My name is Cristina Horta, and I'm first here to tell you thank you for all that you do. I appreciate everything you guys have done on behalf of myself and my student in this school district. I see you guys working hard, and I am here to offer myself. I have had my TB test. I have had my fingerprint background, my certificate of clearance with the Department of Education. I'm a parent volunteer at my school. I will be present at my student's school 5 days a week if needed. I will be present in any school if needed. I encourage other parents to step up and be parent volunteers and support you where we can. We have a responsibility to our community, and if you have the ability to respond, I think you should, and I do. So I'm here to tell you, call me, I'll come, whatever school you need me to be at. Use us as parents as much as we want you to be there for us. Hold us accountable to be there for you. And that's it.
Thank you so much for your comments. Next speaker is Leo Carrillo. Leo Carrillo. Next speaker is Tricia Watunchi. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Trisha Olatunji.
Olatunji. She'll be followed by Paula Garcia.
Well, I originally had a completely different outlet and the way I wanted to present myself and speak. I had the pleasure of meeting with the superintendent quite a bit, only in regards to what happened with Diego. That's what kind of started my trail, my paper trail, trying to meet with the superintendent. Why is this happening? Let's find solutions, because my son has had many problems at Landmark Middle School as well. As a mother, I've done everything I could by talking to assistant principals, and the only solution I was ever able to find was when I spoke with Mr. Walker, the head principal at Landmark Middle School. He took my son under his wing, and he really has not let him go since. Every day I drop him off at school, Mr. Walker is right there. He checks up on him. My son is in special education, and he makes sure that everything is getting met for my son so he can continue his education, and he hasn't had any bullying this year. This year just started, but he hasn't had any issues this year yet. But I want to say it was because my relationship and my son's relationship with Mr. Walker. When I had these, when I wanted to find solution, I immediately was angered and wanted to put blame on the Board of Education and the superintendent. In further meeting with the superintendent, he reassured me and guided me to who can help with the certain situations that were going on with my son. I then found out that Ms. Sheffield is the one that should be implementing certain policies and of that nature for the office staff, things of that nature, that for the students who they speak with and how they handle things like this, like incident reports that happen to your children. Your children can write an incident report. Ms. Sheffield is the one that does all the educating on that. My daughters, I pulled out of Moreno Valley School District because the elementary school that they were attending, the staff was not able to uphold a restraining order. And in trying to transfer my daughters, who handles that? Who handles the transfers? Ms. Sheffield. And watching the meeting that was at Landmark, the way that she spoke to some of the parents and trying to say that this is what we do and we have policies, she didn't uphold her end of the bargain. It takes a village to raise a child and to protect one. She's the one that ended up not failing all of our children.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker is Paula Garcia. Paula Garcia. Becca Peña. Becca Peña, followed by Ethan Morales.
Good evening. My name is Bielka Peña. This is my second year. That's fine. It's hard. It's my second year in this school district. We just moved out here. I have suggestions too. My kid was bullied at Badgers Middle School. When I found out he was being bullied was through my daughter, because he texted my daughter right away. He was placed on a headlock while he was changing for PE, for physical education. I immediately went to school. The staff, the front office staff, when I tried to take care of the situation, they were very not effective. I expressed my concern. I expressed what had happened at that moment. They had told me they were going to get a counselor. I said no. My son was just placed on a headlock. I need to talk to the principal or assistant principal immediately, or I will pull him out. The end of the story, it was taken care of, okay? But here's the thing. People want to blame parents. They're not being educated at home. They are being educated at home. Sometimes middle school is very tough. I myself was bullied. I myself became a bully for that reason. Okay? We have to be open-minded and understand that it's not gang members no more. It's not the group of people. It doesn't have to do with race or anything like that. It's just peer pressure. Middle school students go through a lot. Emotionally, physically, they're finding themselves. So in reality, it's not just us parents. It's the community. It's school. And when a kid comes to you or a parent comes to you, I don't care if you're the janitor, you need to report it. You need to speak up. If you're working at school, you know you have that responsibility to speak up. And I know that, oh, well, I'm the secretary, I can't say nothing. No, you're supposed to say something. You have to speak up. It's not just, you got to understand these kids need help. They need help. And it doesn't matter how much I talk to my son and tell him, how was your day? Is everything going good? It's hard for them. They're finding themselves to speak up. So I just suggest that we need more security in middle school, and we need to get every single staff in that school to really put their part and take action. Even if it was just name calling or even if it was just a push, that's the way it starts. That's the way it starts. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker, Ethan Morales. Ethan Morales, followed by Yesenia Nájera.
Today I want to talk about bullying because last week when I went to Landmark to find solutions for what happened to Diego, everybody was bullying and disrespecting Mr. Kitster, calling him a coward, and one of the red people, a person wearing a red shirt, and calling the board members a coward, and that was really rude. And none of the adults followed the rules. They were yelling and insulting and saying that none of the noon duties were doing their job. And that they were saying, I heard some people also saying that they should fire Dr. Kitsura and the Landmark principal. But in my opinion, they shouldn't. Because Dr. Kitsura is a good man, so is the Landmark principal. And it's not the school faults. It's not the board members or either the school faults problem that, or the parents' problem that these children are not doing are not supposed to do what they're supposed to be doing. Because the children, it's their choice what they do. So no matter, even though if you put programs or anything, it still won't do anything. Because this is life, not a game. People need to be the change, not the problem, because that's what causes bullying. And thank you for letting me share my opinion. Good night.
Thank you so much, Ethan. Thank you for your comments. Last speaker, Yesenia Nájera.
Buenas noches.
Good night.
Mi nombre es Yesenia Nájera.
My name is Yesenia Nájera.
Vengo de Los Ángeles. No puedo opinar mucho sobre lo que está pasando, pero claro que estamos hablando de una vida y es muy fuerte.
I am from LA, so I cannot make a lot of opinions, but life, there's a lot of things to say about life.
Pero lo que me mueve a estar aquí ahora es que también mi hijo ha pasado por bullying. Mi hijo tiene una condición médica.
The reason I'm here is because my son gets bullied and he has a medical condition.
De lo cual mi hijo recibe la EpiPen. Desde que empezó en pre-K, mi hijo tenía la forma 504. Me moví a Moreno Valley en noviembre.
So my son has the EpiPen, and that was one of the reasons why I moved to the area.
Él es alérgico a demasiadas comidas.
He's allergic to a lot of different types of food.
Yo he tenido que estar involucrada desde Los Ángeles en el distrito sobre el ILAC, el SAC. Estuve involucrada ya, pero lo cual aquí se me ha hecho difícil.
In LA, I was very involved in the ELAC, but since I moved here, it's a little bit more difficult for me.
Porque desde que yo entro a la escuela a la cual mi hijo acude, la portada de la escuela es pésima.
Because when I go to my son's school, the entrance, it's bad.
Claro que desde que uno entra, acuérdense que la portada de un libro tiene mucho que desear para poderla uno ojear de adentro.
You have to remember that a book's cover, it's an appeal or not if you want to look in the book.
Claro está de que todo para que pueda evolucionar positivamente es un triángulo: padre, maestro e hijo.
So to make change, it's a triangle. It's parent, teacher, and son.
Lo que yo es una sugerencia, claro está. Nosotros como, perdón.
I'm here to make a suggestion as a parent.
Nosotros como padres queremos lo mejor para nuestros hijos positivamente.
We as parents want the best for our kids.
Me encantaría que así como están implementando muchas reglas.
As you try to implement new rules,
me encantaría de que los padres se estuvieran involucrando un poco más.
I would also like for the parents to get involved a little bit more.
Para que no hayan tantas peleas afuera de la escuela.
So we don't have a lot of fights outside school.
Ya que cuando lo hablo por mi experiencia, voy a traer a mi hijo. Yo vi 2 niñas peleándose cuando la subdirectora y otra del plantel están agarrando a las niñas y las niñas se siguen agarrando de las greñas y eso es intolerante.
I was a witness of 2 students fighting outside school. They were being held with the principal and somebody else, and the kids, even though they were being held back, they were still trying to get into a fight, and that was a shame.
Lo cual me motivó hoy venir aquí. Yo no sabía que estaba todo esto aquí. Fue porque yo hoy vine a buscar ayuda. Porque mi hijo ha estado pasando por bullying. Para él ha sido difícil que de noviembre que nos movimos a Moreno Valley. Fue un cambio positivo, pero a la vez yo siento que es lo peor que he hecho en mi vida de haberme movido acá.
So I moved to Moreno Valley since November, and I wasn't aware of the tonight's meeting, but bullying, it's one of the nightmares I am enduring.
Mi hijo ha llegado al punto de decirme que no quiere acudir más a la escuela, que quiere clases en casa.
My son is very concerned, and he is requesting homeschool.
Y lo entiendo demasiado, porque no es fácil que tu hijo te llegue a decir, mami, me están diciendo que yo tengo Ebola.
Yeah, because it's heartbreaking when your son tells you that the kids at school are saying that he has Ebola.
Y cuando el apoyo se lo tiene que dar el maestro, el que está implementando la clase en ese momento, lo que hace el maestro es solo venir y ponerse en posición. Yo soy el adulto, tú eres el niño, cállate, tienes que seguir mis reglas. Y no es tolerante eso.
Instead of the teacher implementing the rules in the classroom, and he doesn't say anything other than he's a teacher and you're the student.
Y si vengo hasta acá es porque quiero que me ayude. Yo estoy dispuesta a dar mi tiempo, no quiero cobrar. Yo he estado en el ILAC, he sido presidenta, he sido vicepresidenta, no necesito pago alguno. Lo que necesito es que pare todo esto. Son vidas las que esperaron a pasar todo esto. No sé cómo funciona todo esto acá, pero no había necesidad de esperar que una vida se perdiera para podernos a mover y hacer un cambio.
I'm willing to offer my time. I have participated in ILAC before. I'm willing to help anyway, but I do need help. It takes parents to be involved, and it doesn't have to be, incidents like Diego's don't have to happen again. But it takes incidents like that to begin change.
Y no quisiera que fuera la vida de mi hijo, porque mi hijo llegó hasta el punto de buscar cuántas pastillas tomarse para... Es difícil como madre.
Me as a parent, it's difficult to know that your son has searched for information on how many pills to take to commit suicide. It is very unfortunate.
Me gustaría que me apoyaran para ver cómo me puedo involucrar más en la escuela.
And
Pero de aquí, de a fondo, porque no quiero llegar a la escuela y que me digan sí y después me dan la espalda cada vez que llegan, porque cuando un padre se empieza a involucrar mucho en la escuela, no lo miran bonito a uno y ustedes lo deben de saber.
And so I want to let you know that I want to be involved, and I want to let you know that so that you can okay it, because once I get to the school, they say yes, but then as a parent that is involved, they turn their back on parents that are too involved in school.
Muchas gracias.
Many thanks.
Tengo una pregunta. ¿A qué escuela se refiere?
Tengo dos, una en Mountain View y la otra niña en Valley View.
So Mountain View and Valley View.
Gracias.
Thank you. Okay, the principal Mountain View is here. Can you please talk to her? Yes. Thank you. So that's the end of the public comments on non-agenda items. I want to say thank you to all the speakers. Thank you for coming forward with your comments. I believe all board members listened very carefully, as well as the superintendent and members of staff. So thank you so much. It was very important for us to listen to all your comments. Thank you for doing what you just did. And again, remind you that there's a meeting on Thursday at 6 to 8 p.m. at the Landmark. Do you want to do your statement? Or? Well, it's up to you. Otherwise, we're going to take a leaving. And again, thank you to all the members of the community that were here. I see many of you leaving, but thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments and for being with us this evening. So at this time, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Let's come back at 8:45. Is that enough? 8:45? Good job. Yeah. Oh my God, that was tough. Okay, we're coming back. It's 8:50. We're coming back again. So next item on the agenda is a public hearing. We have a public hearing for resolution number 2019-20-13, pupil textbooks and instructional materials compliance for fiscal year 2019-2020. Ms. Maddox, can you please talk about this item?
This is a requirement that we do annually. The public hearing is to establish that students in our district have sufficient textbooks or instructional materials that are aligned to the academic standards and also are consistent within the curriculum framework that is adopted by the State Board of Education. It specifically includes math, science, history, social science, and English language arts, also including ELD.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments from board members? No? Okay, so the recommended motion is to open the public hearing. So I need a motion and a second to be able to open the public hearing, please.
I move that we open the public hearing on resolution number 2019-20-13.
I'll second it.
Can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. So at this time, the public hearing is open. If anybody wants to comment on this particular item, please come forward. And I don't see anybody approaching the microphone, so I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to close the public hearing on resolution number 2019-20-13.
I'd like to make a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. The public hearing is now closed. So with that, we can move on to item F2, adopt resolution number 2019-20-13, pupil textbooks and instructional materials compliance for fiscal year 2019-2020. Ms. Maddox, do you have any additional comments?
At this time, would like for the board to adopt the resolution of number 2019-2013, which concerns pupil textbooks and instructional materials that would meet the compliance requirement for the fiscal year 2019-2020.
Do you have any comments or questions from members of the board?
I'd just like to make one comment. So this is not adopting any textbooks. This is just stating that we have sufficient textbooks.
Correct.
Then I move that we approve this resolution.
Thank you. We need a second, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. So the resolution is adopted. Approved. So then we move on to item G is the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Consent agenda is approved as presented. Next item is item G4, human resources consent items. No, I'm sorry, not that. Forget that. Item H, action items. Educational services action items, student discipline case number 525. I need a motion and a second to approve this item under student disciplinary cases.
I move that we approve the student disciplinary case as presented.
Need a second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Next item is item H2, business services action items. H2A, second reading and adoption, board policy number 1330 and administrative regulation 1330, use of school facilities. Ms. Lopez, can you speak on this item, please?
Yes, we are bringing back for a second reading and recommend for approval Board Policy 1330, which updated, making the change to use of facilities, as well as incorporating what was previously in Board Policy 1400, which refers to using school facilities as polling place.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? None. In that case, then I need a motion and a second to approve Board Policy number 1330 and Administrative Regulation 1330, use of school facilities as presented.
I move that we accept them.
Is the motion?
I'll second it.
Second roll call, please.
Mr. Peyton.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hoaging.
Aye, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Next item, H2B, second reading and adoption, Board Policy 1400, relations between other governmental agencies and the schools. Ms. Lopez, can you please speak about this item?
Yes, this, again, Board Policy 1400, which we are bringing back for a second reading and recommending for adoption. This board policy will remove the items in regards to the polling place, which is now in Board Policy 1330, as well as adding language on material on collaboration with local government agencies.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? None. In that case, we need a motion and a second to approve Board Policy 1400 as presented.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peyton.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hoaging.
Aye, 4 ayes, 1 absent. Next item is item I, discussion action items. I1, Superintendent, discussion action items. I1A is nominations for California School Boards Association, Directors at Large, African American, American Indian, and County. Dr. Kitsura, can you speak on this item, please?
Mr. Holguin, that item is on there so that the board can have a discussion about if they'd like to nominate anyone for any of those open positions through the California School Boards Association.
Can I just make a motion if Board Member Johnson would be willing to accept a nomination to fill the African American delegate spot? I'm putting that motion on the table.
Great.
Yeah, we both doing it now, right?
What's that?
We both own them right now, right?
No, but this is different from your role as delegate. This is Director at Large. Because you're a delegate for Riverside County, but this would be Director at Large statewide. So Mr. Pini has made a motion. So I need a second for that motion.
So did you say you were willing to accept that nomination?
At first, I was confused about what
Yeah.
it was.
All right, if you are willing to accept that nomination, I will happily second it. Thank you.
And just for clarification, so at this time, Mr. Johnson and I are delegates.
Yeah.
He's a delegate for Riverside County School, Region, Riverside County, Region 18. I am a delegate because I'm a past president. As past president, I'm a delegate. This particular position here is Director at Large, in this case, for African American, meaning he would be the representative statewide, not just for Riverside County.
Yeah.
So
I
there is
think
a
it would
motion.
be good for us to have a representative
Absolutely.
statewide. I'm glad he's willing to do that.
Absolutely. So there is a motion and a second for that. Roll call, please.
Mr. Peyton.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Hoaging.
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. So we'll put your name as a nominee for that position, Mr. Johnson. Thank you for accepting. Okay, next item. Next item, I2A resolution number 2019-20-12 of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District approving the award of contracts to Anemos Enterprises for additional painting work at Sunnymeade Middle School. Ms. Lopez, can you please speak about this item?
Yes, this was a contract that was previously approved during the summer as the work was being completed. It was brought to the attention that additional work was needed for the interior painting of a number of classrooms. The dollar amount exceeded the 10%, which is allowable for a contract change order, and so now we're required to get approval via resolution to exceed that change order amount.
Thank you. Any questions?
So is this because additional work was authorized?
That is correct. In the scope of the work, it was the outside painting that would take place. And when that was being done, they realized that there was a request for interior painting of 16 classrooms.
Okay, so that was the additional money then.
Yes.
All right.
Any additional questions or comments? Okay, then we need a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2019-2012 as presented.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-20-12 for change order work.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peden?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Hoagland?
Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent. Next item on the agenda is comments from board members and superintendent. Mr. Peden, please.
I just want to thank the community for coming out today. I know it was a difficult discussion, but I want to let everybody know that I hear you, I see you, and I think that obviously I can't speak directly for my colleagues, but I would imagine that they would say the same thing, that we hear you and we see you, and we're ready to get to work. Thank you.
Ms. Smith.
And I guess it's over to me already. Well, thank you. I'd like to say just a few things first, and then I have a couple of comments. But I'd like to congratulate Dr. Kaziora, LaToisha Brown, and Mary Lou Dennison, who all received awards at the SEAM Awards. These awards are given for people who are effective in the education of African American youth. And I'm glad that there were 8 education awards given. 3 were to people in our district, and I was really proud to see our district so well represented for their work on behalf of these students, especially Dr. Kaziora. It seems like he gets a lot of awards, but I think he's worth it. He deserves those awards. And Mrs. Brown, the principal of Moreno Valley High School, you know, you would have to look far and wide to find a better principal. Not that, I mean, I have respect for all of our principals, but I really feel a connection with Mrs. Brown and with the things she's doing at Moreno Valley High School. So I want her to know how much I appreciate her. And Mary Lou Dennison has a difficult job as a counselor at Landmark and has risen to the occasion as is working with those students. I also went to the HBCU event, again at Moreno Valley High School. We are the only district in this area that has, that UCAN comes to sponsor this HBCU event to encourage some of our, and the historically black colleges take students from, you know, you don't have to be black to go there. You can be, they take students of all races, but this gives our students an opportunity to go out there to see what's available. Sometimes they apply for scholarships or acceptances and are accepted like on the spot. And even if they don't get that, it's a good chance for them to walk around, to see what colleges are expecting, to see what kind of records they have to have together and when the deadlines are to get those in. So I think it was a great experience for many of our students, and I enjoyed being there. In the end, I'd like to say to our parents and our staff members that came tonight, thank you. My heart is broken for the 3 young lives that were shattered last week at Landmark Middle School. Words cannot express the grief that I feel for Diego and his family at this time. I know from personal experience that their lives will never be the same. Decisions made in an instant can impact lives permanently. I would encourage every parent tonight to hug their children a little tighter, tell them how much you love them, and then make an effort to be more present in their lives every day. Thank you.
I'm going to be brief, so I wrote mine, so I didn't have to just like go from the cuff. But before I even read these, I do want to thank everyone who came out tonight. We had an overflow crowd out there, and no one complained. Tonight, there's no sense of me lying to you, I was surprised. I was surprised at the way the adults acted tonight. we acted just like adults. And so since Harold is back there, I was very impressed with the things, what the things that everyone said, but I was really impressed with what Harold said, because I heard and I saw where he was looking for unity, and he wanted everybody to come back and just be one. I know I'm paraphrasing, but what I saw was that I saw a family of people in Moreno Valley who wanted the best, not just for their own kids, but for all of the students that attend our schools here. I was very encouraged by what I saw, very encouraged by what I saw. If we could accomplish things like that in the future, like we did tonight, there's no telling what we're going to be able to do in our quest to make this entire city and district even better than what she is today. So I tip my hat to everyone who came tonight, and especially those who spoke and those who sat and didn't speak, but I appreciate the way they sat, listened, and this entire audience were controlled. I appreciate that. So I wrote this. We continue to be in solidarity with the families of our 3 injured youths and their entire body of Moreno Valley Unified School District personnel, and especially our youth who rely on us for safety, nurturing, and instructions in learning. And then finally, we will work tirelessly to ensure a continued safe working and instructional environment for all. And when I say we're going to work, naturally we're going to be getting together at some point, and we're going to be going over different ideas that we've heard, different ideas that we had, to continue to try and make this this whole environment conducive to everyone. The one little young girl, middle school girl who got up and spoke, I'm sure she touched all of our hearts. She spoke so eloquently, and during her speaking, she did tell us about how she's been bullied. So when you get somebody like that, they're asking us for the leadership, and we have the capacity to do that. So I'm going to close with a quote. Trauma creates changes. You don't choose healing. It's about creating change that you do choose. Thank you.
I also want to thank everyone who came this evening, who attended the meeting, who sat through the whole time when we had the speakers. And I also want to thank all those that chose to speak. You know, that's one of the beauties of this country. You are free to speak your mind. And about almost 30 people had the opportunity to speak up this evening. And we sat through all those comments. We listened very carefully. I can tell you, my colleagues were taking notes. We were taking notes, and we were listening very carefully to every comment. And every comment is a lesson for me, because I have to learn to listen and then act based on the comments, and many things that I have to do to better myself, some other things that I have to do to protect, in this case, the students or employees in the district. And every comment that I have to remind myself that we are here for a purpose. We are here for a reason. And this is what our superintendent reminds us all the time. There's a why we're here. What is our why? And every day we think about our students, and we think about their safety, and we think about working together with my colleagues, with the superintendent, and with everybody, and the school district, and the teachers, the employees groups, and the community and the parents. And it's so refreshing to hear members of the community, such as the president of MBA and some parents and even the students, to say, we need to come together and find a solution. We need to be a team that moves this district forward, always keeping in mind the safety of the students. And that is, of course, a top priority, and has been for years a top priority for this board, that the safety of the students is number one. And we have to do whatever we need to do, whatever it takes to to keep that safety as a top priority, always. So we got a lot of comments this evening. We got a lot of comments at the parent information meeting Thursday evening. We have another opportunity this coming Thursday at the Landmark again to get more input from the community. And it doesn't stop there. I mean, we listen here this evening in a very structured way, 3 minutes each speaker, and some of them spoke less, some of them spoke, they had the opportunity with translation to speak for 6 minutes. But regardless, those are not the only opportunities that people have. We have many different parent meetings, and the superintendent has scheduled many different meetings, different nature of meetings, where people can come and give ideas to the school district. I attended the parent ambassadors meeting just last week, and I was able to speak there for a couple of minutes, but the parent ambassadors were there getting some kind of training, some kind of conversation. That's just one opportunity there. But there was also the African American Advisory Council meeting, which we attended, and this room was full of parents and some administrators too. And that was another opportunity for people to come and to bring ideas. So there are so many more. The DLAC meeting, I couldn't attend the DLAC meeting because it was at the same time as the parent information meeting at Landmark. But the DLAC is another opportunity, and there's several others. So the point is that parents, community members can come forward anytime. They can come to the board meeting and speak for 3 minutes, but they can also reach us and share ideas with us, share their concerns. And it's happened in the last week or so. We've heard from several community members. And, I just have to say it, that the superintendent, for the conversations that I've had with him, has spent a lot of time, a lot of hours on the phone and emailing parents, talking to parents face to face. Even Saturday and Sunday, he was meeting with parents because the superintendent wanted to make sure that the parents are heard. And so we are. I mean, we want to make sure that we hear their comments. A couple of speakers said, we trusted you for these positions, and that is absolutely true. We were trusted with this position, and we are here to listen. And we are here to work with the superintendent and his team. And with all this information that we're getting, we are committed to continue working with the superintendent and supporting any strategies, any initiatives, anything that needs to be in place, which is not already in place. There's a lot of initiatives in place already. And we need to observe where is it that we need to improve, where is it that we need to tighten those strategies to make them work. The policies, we can look at the policies, we can read them, we can revise them, we can bring more policies if it's necessary. That's our job. So we need to continue looking at those areas. So we are not ignoring, we are taking this extremely seriously. And for those people that don't believe that we are, I can tell you, board members are committed to spend time to visit schools, to talk to people, to talk to students, to whatever we need to do. That's why we're here. We also need to get training, professional development, one way or the other. And we need to learn. We need to share with other districts. We need to share with other people. We need to learn from others. But eventually, we have to come back here and apply what we know, what we learn, and work again as a team with the entire community. This is a community effort. It's not just the teachers, it's not just the classified people, it's not just the managers, it's the entire community working together. And we are committed to do that. I'm speaking here on behalf of my colleagues. I'm sure they feel the same way. We're all committed to continue working to make this district better. This district is good. There's a lot of recognition at the local, at the state, at the national level. A lot of recognition. So we need to continue moving forward because I know there will be more recognition. So again, I want to thank all the speakers this evening. I look forward to Thursday meeting where we will learn more and hopefully we start moving in the right direction with the solutions that we're looking for from the community, and so that we can all work together on that. And it's an ongoing process, not just today, not just Thursday, but ongoing process during the school year, because our students are here every single day, and they will be here, some of them for the next 12 years, 13 years, some of them for the next few months. Whatever the case is, we need to focus entirely on providing an environment where they can learn and be successful in their future. So we are committed to do that. So thank you for all the comments. My last comment, same as my colleagues, our prayers are for the families of the students, and hope that these incidents don't happen again. Thank you. Dr. Katsura.
Thank you, Mr. Holguin. I'm going to take a few minutes here to just review some things. I want to thank you, Mrs. Isarias.
You're good. Just call me Rose.
Rose. I was at Sunnymeade Elementary School today. I don't know if you saw me. I was out on the kindergarten playground, and I was talking to the kids, and there's a little boy named Santiago there. And he said to me, wanted to know why I was there. And he said, do you want to know my dad's name? And I said, sure. And he said, it's Daddy. And I said, oh, that's a good name. And he said, yeah, he likes it. And then he said, my name is Santiago, and it's with a S. And I said, okay. And he said, I just want to make sure you know about me. And I said, well, I do now. Thank you. So I really enjoyed my visit there today, and what a great school you have. And also, I want to thank you for what you provided to me this evening. That's a very important piece of this, is we learn something every time someone says something. And so we take all ideas, and I just want to thank you for that. I want to kind of review for the public where we've been and where we're going. We are collaborating with deputies from the Moreno Valley Station as they continue to conduct a thorough investigation into what happened at Landmark Middle School. And the incident has also triggered concern among some parents and community members, as we heard tonight, about the safety of our schools and whether bullying played a part in this tragic situation. It also has raised questions about exactly what the schools are doing to prevent, reduce, and respond to instances of bullying, harassment, and violence on campus. First, I want to review how we responded. On day one, when this happened, there was a medical emergency. Sometimes people didn't realize what that meant. There were a lot of emergency vehicles there. We don't always determine the number that arrive, and that doesn't always mean what the emergency is, but there were several vehicles there that responded to a 911 call for support. I do want to tell you that a student at Landmark Middle School, who I'll recognize at the next board meeting, placed that 911 call. The school was also what we call as shelter in place. And the school enacted this protocol to make space for the emergency responders and for the sheriff's department to conduct an investigation process. School staff and sheriff deputies immediately searched for all witnesses involved, including students and staff, to conduct the investigation, while one of the students was transported to the hospital. There was a parent link. The school sent a phone call to all parents, letting them know about the medical emergency and the shelter-in-place protocol, as they would have the designated pickup area for their child would be. I went there immediately, as did Mr. Acord, as did Jolynn Neal, and many of the cabinet members. Maribel Maddox was there. I think Dr. Verdi came there. And everyone was at Landmark. Daryl Scott was there, back there, the Director of Safety and Security. and talking to people, comforting them, and trying to help. Parent links were continuously sent out to provide parents with updates on the incident that occurred and with school responses. Sometimes parents would say they got told something one time and they got told another thing another time. And that's because we can't give out information until we're told what information we can give out. And so that may seem confusing, and it may seem that people weren't giving all the information, but we give the information that we have as soon as it comes out. There was a staff meeting on day 2. We collaborated with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department to hold a staff meeting on Tuesday, the day after the incident took place, to provide updates to teachers and staff members of the incident that took place and to address any concerns or questions. At that staff meeting, Harold Acord and Selena Joyner were present. The cabinet was present. There was a lot of support there, and the staff was very appreciative of and Mr. Acord, thank you for what MVA did, providing lunch for the staff and breakfast for the staff, because there was a lot of concern, and people needed to talk, and there was just a lot of support. We also had additional counselors there. We had counselors on the site to support any students, teachers, and staff who wanted to speak with anyone. They made rounds visiting the classroom, speaking to those who needed support. We have a lot of partnerships, and Riverside University Health System came immediately. They called me the night before, and they said, we want to help, and they were there, and they've continued to be there. And that's in addition to our own crisis team that was there. And so there was abundant support provided and will continue to be provided to the school and to any other school that needs it. On day 3, we held a parent meeting on September 18th. On Wednesday night, we offered a parent information night for all parents and students at Landmark Middle School to provide updated information to parents regarding the incident and provide clarification. We used this opportunity to discuss our efforts to prevent and deal with bullying behaviors in our schools. And I want to tell everyone that the board, the reason they were sitting in the back of the room was because they were listening that evening. And this was not a board meeting, it was a community meeting. So when it's not a board meeting, the board sits in the back of the room so they can listen and everyone can see where they are. And they sit there and they take notes, and they're very serious about what's happening. But it also gives access to, if we need them for something, we know where they are in the room. And it's a coordinated effort on my part as the superintendent to make sure that people are located where we can find them, because there were different things happening that evening. And again, it wasn't a board meeting, it was a community meeting for the community to speak, not for the board to speak. Moving forward, these are some of the additional actions that we are taking, and I don't want you to think these are limited to these, but they are the ones that are most, I developed as soon as possible. As a result of the follow-up to the meeting on September 18th, we're hosting a Solutions Through Community Collaboration parent meeting on Thursday, September 26th, which is this Thursday, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Landmark Middle School. It'll be a very structured meeting. I have directed Maribel Maddox and her team. I've worked with them to provide a very structured meeting where there'll be facilitators at 20 tables and helping develop solutions. We want to review the slips that were filled out that evening. Many parents filled out slips and didn't get to speak, and so we want to use those slips that were filled out to make sure that we're listening and that we're providing solutions. Those solutions will be put together and put on the website and will be distributed to principals and will be reviewed at a principals meeting that's next week. On the website, we've included bullying resources front and center. If you go on our website, you will see that I had a student services meeting on Saturday with the people from student services, and I met with them for 3 hours. And we included bullying resources from the front and center of the district website and all school websites so that families can access it easier. Anonymous reporting tools like WeTip have also been added to the top and bottom of the website and also on every student's Chromebook. And that was done immediately. And I want to thank technology. I want to thank the people in technology, innovation, and assessment. And I want to thank Student Services for working with me. We also developed a one-page sheet, a fact sheet on bullying. I think it was distributed tonight here. It's in the back. And it was translated into Spanish. This was all done since the incident took place. But again, we've reacted and we've responded because I wanted to look at our processes and our procedures and make sure that they were what students could understand. I immediately took that to schools and showed it to children, showed it to students, and they gave me feedback. Meetings, we're going to be holding ongoing meetings throughout the month of October and November with principals, assistant principals, and district staff to evaluate our current systems in place and work together with parents, staff, students, and law enforcement to ensure student safety. On Monday at 7:30 a.m., I held an emergency meeting with all the principals in the district to review all of our procedures and everything that we are supposed to be doing. We do take this very seriously, and I reviewed and just went over what needs to be done and how we need to have follow-through, and we need to communicate. We've already met with all principals, as I said yesterday, to discuss the current resources we have available, in addition to the steps we are taking to work with our community to develop solutions through community collaboration. Tomorrow at Landmark Middle School, there will be a man mob, and this was organized by community member Jerry Green, and there will be many men there. I hope that all of you will be there and join us out there at 8 o'clock, which includes the members of the clergy, the NAACP, and the ACLU to offer support to the school. Again, people have mobilized, they've organized, and these are things that have just happened immediately. On Saturday, September 28th at Discovery Church, I'll be participating in a meeting with the clergy that was organized already, but I will certainly have a message where we will talk about that. As you saw, Pastor Clemens from Discovery Church has been here continuously, and we want to use that as a resource and a tool for students and families so that they know what's out there and what's available to them to assist them as students experience trauma or fear, or families do. Next week, on October the 2nd, I have a students' LCAP advisory meeting, Superintendent Student LCAP advisory meeting. It'll take place on Wednesday from 1:30 to 3:30, and the topic of that meeting will be bullying and how to address violence in schools. And I'll have people here to talk to them, but we'll also be listening to them about what we can learn from them. I find that when I invite students here, they, tell me exactly what I need to do. On October 25th, there's a Million Father March that the schools will be participating in. This is something we've done every year, but this is an opportunity for dads and uncles and grandfathers and coaches and mentors and clergies and men's groups and organizations to show their commitment to the educational lives of children throughout the school year by escorting children to school on this day. It'll start at Hendrick Ranch Elementary School and end at the district office. This is not an exhaustive list. It's just what's been done so far and what we've started, but we take this very seriously. This is our community, and we want our children to be safe, and we care for them deeply, and so we continue to work with our schools. I've given parents my phone number, my personal cell phone number, and I meet with any parent that has contacted me, and I've continued to meet with them as much as they need to meet with me. And Claudia and Brenda Tejas have helped me tremendously with those families. Claudia is taking a family tomorrow that wants to change schools on a tour of a school so that they can feel more comfortable. We're offering any solution that we can find to help families through this, and to know that it won't be easy, and that it'll take time, and that people need different resources and different solutions. But we're being creative, and we're being supportive, and we're listening. So I want to thank the community again for tonight, because I wrote lots of notes on every one of these slips here, and they're going to be used in our discussions. We have a principals meeting next week, and bullying will be part of that. It'll be a huge piece of the agenda, and it will be on the agenda for every meeting that we do have. I've met with Cabinet. I met with them on Monday, and I talked to them about follow-through, and I talked to them about responding and listening not only to the community but to the people within the district, so that we model good listening, and we model that what it's like when people call us, so that people feel helped and they feel encouraged. I want to thank La Jolla Elementary School that sent a card signed by the entire staff tonight to the board, and I'd like for you all to look at that, because they delivered that, and I think that's very thoughtful. And I want to say again, this is a very sad time in our community, but I know that we're going to do better, and things are going to improve, because we're all working together to help make this happen, and we need each other more now than we've ever needed each other. So I thank the board. I thank you for your support. I thank the Cabinet. I thank everyone out there, that's here. Thank you to MVA and CSEA and the parents. Together we lift our community and rise through all of our actions and our behaviors. And students do watch us, and we do talk to them. And I really want to thank the 33,000 students who attend here, because they inspire me each day. And when I visit them, they tell me what I need to do. So thank you again. And I know that was a very lengthy closing, but I think it's important for the community to know what we've done so far and what we will continue to do as we work together through this.
Thank you, Dr. Katsura. With that, this meeting is adjourned at 9:30 p.m. Thank you all.